Good evening, one and all, and welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Toy Talk and Live Chat. We are indeed here tonight to present the final instalment in our Black Series wish lists from the Skywalker Saga. So we are, of course, tackling the ever-popular, not at all controversial sequel trilogy of Star Wars films. And I'm excited about it. Come on, Star Wars is fun. And there's a plethora of characters to talk about and touch on, and I'm really, really excited. I am, of course, joined, as always, by partners in crime, Daniel East 1000 and RoboQuiff Collects. And before we get to the main topic at hand, I realise our audience tonight might be a little bit small, because the majority of you will be over in Japan, enjoying a certain event that's going off. I've heard rumblings about it, little things
Just
going
a little
on.
one.
Yeah, nothing major going off over there, but I realise that there's a pocket of people that will be spending time in the land of the rising sun. I don't know why you'd want to do that and not be sat hanging out with us, but be that as it may. It is, of course, Celebration Weekend, and day one of Star Wars Celebration Japan has just wrapped up, and there's a fair old bit to go through, lads. I'm not going to lie.
Buckle up, bitches!
Get a comfy seat. Fucking hell.
We're one day down, and already there's just so much to talk about. So what we're going to do, we've got an order of business tonight. We're going to dive in. We're going to cover Celebration. We're going to cover all the figure reveals. We're going to cover all the media reveals. But we are, of course, here to mainly talk about our sequel trilogy wish list, which I'll be honest, at this point feels a bit like a fucking waste of a slot. You know, it is what it is. It's what we scheduled, so we're not breaking from form. We're going to get into it. So we do, as always, have some of our usual guests in the chat. Matthew is here from Twinsons Collecting. Good evening, Matt. Django Fett 220. Harry is with us. Live stream delay replay. yeah. I think there'll be a lot of people catching it on the replay rather than that. Or they're probably watching in their hotel rooms in Japan, which would be very cool as well. Django also says, "I know exactly one of the figures you're going to be mentioning. Which one could that be, Harry? Don't know. Can't think of any." JCC 2 is with us. Black Series actor, Green Milk Creature, when? Hopefully, soon after this Black Series wish list.
Hey.
And David Edge is with us as well. I haven't got thousands of quid to spend on Star Wars shy. Well, neither have we, but we're going to do it anyway. So
I don't, but I do anyway.
With Jesus Christ, like Dan said, buckle up. It's going to be a thick, girthy.
The shackles have been unlocked.
Bloody hell. So we're going to dive in. As always, we've got recent pickups to go through. James, I'm sorry, I've done you a disservice, mate, because I've completely forgotten to prep some slides with your recent pickups. So you'll just have to describe them. You'll just have to describe them for the kind folks at home. But me and Dan have been out today because it's not new Star Wars content day, but it feels like it because it's celebration. So
it's like Christmas.
As such, we've been out and had to celebrate, and we've been out on a little bit of a spend. So before we get into the meat and bones, let's touch on some of our recent pickups.
Oh no.
So, oh bugger. Dan.
Shit.
Shit. Do you want to take the floor, mate? Because you... Oops,
Do I have to? Do I have to?
Because, oops, you did it again.
Yeah, it's not as bad as last time, I hope. Because last time, that were a piss take. There's something new. Something new. Yeah, something new. Back somewhere here. Something new. Don't worry about that. It's nothing to worry about there. So you have to wait for May the 4th to see that one. Alright. So shoot to Daily 1000 May the 4th video spectacular. See what we'll be looking at that might be there or might not be. But today, Steve dragged me out and made me touch grass because I said I'd not got a haul.
He's got one now.
I've got one now, haven't I? Trying to save for some conventions. And no, Steve says, Dan, come on, stop being a wet wipe. One of the things I did get was this. I don't want to move it because I'll knock all my Power of the Force figures off and it'll be a mess. But I did get a freeze frame binder for my freeze frames, although it doesn't fill all the freeze frames in it. So you have to buy multiple to fill all your freeze frames in the freeze frame binder. That's really annoying, but you know, I'll forgive it because it's, you know, Power of the Force and I love it. So I've got my freeze frames in my freeze frame binder, bar one which is just loose at the bottom there now. Okay, so we got the freeze frame binder. Continue on with the theme of Power of the Force 2. We got it's a little Dash Rendar, isn't it? Because it's a bit of foreshadowment from today.
That's topical.
Yeah, it's very topical. So I saw this. I've been seeing him quite a few times in this lovely card. It's a little bit dinged. It's a little bit battered, but he's staying on the card because it's not very often I see one with that little sticky there, the foil sticky, and him in the purple card. Yeah, it looks so lovely. I like it a lot. So he's staying in the card. I found him a nice protector to keep protected. Big old Chad Dash Render. Love my big old Chad Dash Render. Next up, we also got from Toys and Train Sheffield. Big ups. We got Cantina Aliens for £15.
Leading bargain.
We got I forget the names. Jeff, John, and Stuart. He's got he's got the horn on.
It looks like a Stuart.
Who do we call him again? What do we call him?
Names are on fucking box, you pleb.
They are, aren't they? Actually, they're on the back. Labia. We've got Labia, Narbrun Leeds, and Tequil. So they are very sexy figures. I was just being silly. I just wanted to give them different names. It's nice.
They'll forever be known as Jeff.
I didn't even notice this. On the back, you've got Homeless Jawa. Look at him. Oh, I like that. That's the main meat and potatoes of the haul. Where's the other one gone? It's big enough. Oh yeah, I got this. So I got this from. We had a little detour up to Matlock, didn't we, Steve? Because
we did.
We wanted to. We were having a figgy field day, and Steve hadn't bought anything, so I needed to change that. And I picked up this bad boy, the Naboo Starfighter, and of course I bought a little Rick Ollie to go with it, and he's in there. He's in the cockpit. Looking all happy about that. It's missing a few stickers. It's missing the missile. I've bought the missile off of eBay. It looks fantastic. I'm very happy with my little purchase. It's rum. I like that. Thank you. Oh, there's Watto there as well for no reason.
I like
him. Got him as well.
That. I love that.
There's another story for that. We'll tell another time.
Absolutely. That's recoiled up in the cockpit. Yeah,
he certainly is. He's raring to go.
The Nature Boy Rick Ollie.
Now this is pod racing.
David says painted silver and it's Mandalorian. Well, you don't have to, do you, Dan?
No, I've already got it. I got the silver one, and I wanted the yellow one.
And now he's got it.
And now I've got it.
Now you got it. Matt's asking, is that the 1999 one or the 2012 one?
It's the 1999 one. It's not quite as nice as the 2012 one, but 1999 is retro and it's hip and cool.
It's yep. Can't argue more than that, to be honest. Oh, look at that! Watto's got a flight stand rammed up his arse.
He's
Hey.
he hasn't actually. Sadly, he's got his legs in between a cable.
Ooh.
He's laying cable. Yeah. He's there for no reason. I bought him recently. I bought two of him actually, and I'll tell the story of that later on. That's a little teaser.
We'll get to that because we've got quite, like I said, we've got quite a fucking bit.
We got lots to get on with. Come on now.
We sure have. We'll get to it.
Who's next?
James, do you want to go next, mate? Because you're, like I say, I'm completely.
Yeah, go on.
Let's
do the old fucking fashion way, shall we?
There we go.
There's a Hot Toys Ahsoka next to a Sabine, which I've already had that one, but I like the picture of them together better than the other one because it took me about 5 fucking hours to pose the thing I liked. So
yummy.
Very, very nice.
Yeah, that Sabine looks mint.
And that's it. Yeah, fucking sick figure.
Yeah, Sabine looks absolutely class. She looks dope. I'm really tempted. Oh, again, we're going off topic, but we're jumping into things too early. We'll get to it. Dan picked up Dash Rendar. That was topical. I've done a purchase too today. I've done a couple of purchases actually, but I'm saving them. I'm going to save them for tomorrow because we're doing another stream tomorrow. If you weren't aware, tomorrow morning, rise and shine with us.
That's the thing we're doing.
That's a thing we're doing that I almost forgot about. Myself, Dan, and the Forces with Jesse will be bringing you our celebration of 30 years of Power of the Force 2 tomorrow at 10 a.m. BST, British Summer Time. So if you're in the market for some 90s nostalgia, then come and join us. So I'm going to save all my recent pickups for that because they're in keeping with the theme. So I did, on the way home from our little jaunt, Dan, I made a little detour, and I made a very topical purchase myself. And I don't think you guys are going to get excited about it, but I am because now I feel like I've been there to a degree. So, ba-bom.
Yay!
Oh,
there
very
we go.
nice.
Sweet.
There we go. I had to go and get one. I had to try my luck. I popped into Smith's. boom, and yeah, I got myself a Samurai Mandalorian pop, which apparently is a Celebration exclusive. But these really slipped under the radar because they leaked out on Instagram a while back. When they were found in stores, but apparently they were supposed to be somewhat exclusive to Celebration, even though Forbidden Planet over here have got them in and Smiths have got them in. Paid out my nose for it like an absolute mug, but I'm happy with it because it's nice. It's just I couldn't not pick it up today of all days, and based on the whole of Tamashii Nation stuff that I got last time we streamed, it just felt in keeping.
It really ties the Mandalorian collection together.
It does. I'm undecided at the moment though what to do with it, whether or not to open it up and get it on display on my Mandalorian shelf or to keep it boxed and display it alongside my Tamashii Nation stuff because I quite like the aesthetic. And yeah, it's a nice little theme to have. And I wouldn't mind picking up the others either, to be honest, because there's a Kylo Ren, there's a Rey and a Vader, and they look really, really cool as well. So if I ever pick them up, I think pairing them up with my Tamashii Nations stuff would look quite nice. So, yeah, there you go. I know pops aren't for everybody, but they're for me, so it's nice. And I've also picked up some other bits and pieces as well. Done a little bit of a spend on Sticker Mule, because myself, James, and Dan are all off on a little adventure next month, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
So, first and foremost, myself and Dan are off to see Revenge of the Sith on April 25th, when that gets re-released in cinemas. We're going over to Cineworld in Sheffield to go and watch that, because Matt Ferguson, who has done the poster design, the new poster for Revenge of the Sith to celebrate 20 years, he's going to be there. He's going to be giving away posters. He's going to be doing a signing, so it would be absolutely criminal not to go for that. And then we're going to go and see the film. In fact, shall we pull it up on screen? Shall we show the nice folks at home?
Oh yeah.
What we're going to be doing and where we're going to be going?
Go on, get it up. Come on.
There we go. So, if you're knocking about on April 25th in the Cineworld Sheffield area, then come on down from 5 o'clock onwards, because myself and Dan are going to be there, and we're going to have got some swag to give away. And then following that, the following week, all three of us, we're off to Liverpool Comic Con, which is going to be grand because Aidan Christensen's going, Rosario Dawson's going, Natasha Burdizzo is going as well, who played Sabine in Ahsoka. There's an absolute fucking ton of Star Wars
Baldwin.
guests. Eric Bowen.
Eric Bowen.
There's a ton of Star Wars guests going to Liverpool Comic Con, so we thought, well, do you know what? We've got the weekend off. Let's head on down. So we're having a little bit of a day. It's Specials Day Out.
It actually is. Day trip.
So we're off to Liverpool.
If you see us walking round, you can come poke us with a stick. We won't
That's
bite.
it.
Hey,
That's it.
and if you do, and you say the right words to me,
This is it.
you might get yourself a little treat.
So that's it.
Hey.
So yeah, we're all three of us are off to Liverpool Comic Con, and then the following day, no rest for the wicked, we're off to Blackburn, and we're going to Star Wars Fan Fun Day, which is going to be absolutely sick. I'm really excited about it because we missed last year's, but me and Dan went the year before, and it was an absolutely amazing time. It's such a good event.
A gaff, a laugh.
It's so good.
Oh, brilliant time. I'm so excited. I'm gutted I didn't go last year. I'm raring for it this year.
Yeah, same. And because in celebration of all these events that are going off and that we're going to and that we're really, really excited to see everybody at, we've had some swag put together. So I've had, like I say, I've been on a little bit of a spend, and I went over to Sticker Mule, and I finally, after years of wanting them, had some little pin badges made with my channel logo on. Look at how lovely they are. Aren't they nice? So if you come along to any of those events and you see us, come and say hello, because I'll be giving some of these out. You can have one of them if you want. I'll give you one of those because I'm kind. And also I've got a limited amount of little swag packs to give out. It's got stickers in it. It's got cards in it. All about the channel. So you can come and grab one of those off me as well if you want. So yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be good. And I believe Dan has got some swag of his own that he's going to be giving out.
I certainly do. So
come on, Dan.
We've got a couple of bits of swag for each event. All right. So listen carefully if you're going, because you need to remember the buzzwords. The buzzwords. Okay. So, if you're going to Liverpool Comic Con on the Saturday, the day that we're attending, and you see me, and you say, "Judge me by my size, do you?" You could get yourself this little Yoda print from one of my reviews. It's hand signed by me.
Which is a selling point all on its own.
You know, and then you got your little, it's numbered. They're all numbered, and it's limited of 18. So I've got 18 of these to give out. So if 18 of you come to me, say, "Judge me by my size, do you?" You could get yourself one, unless I've run out. Now, also, in celebration of our little live chats, I thought we'd do one for us as a team, promoting our little chats on here. So if you say the classic line, "Rubbing the Monday," rubbing the Monday,
and you've got to say it in your sexiest,
you've got to say it in the most sensual voice ever. You could get yourself a limited run of 1 of 5 Ki-Adi-Mundi prints. So if you say "Rubbing the Monday," you could get yourself 1 of 5 of these. There's only 5 of these I can give out, and they're all hand numbered, and they're also signed on the back by me. Now, if you're going, sorry, I'm taking up a bit of time here.
You're all right.
If we're going,
Plug away, mate. Plug away. That's what it's for.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, if you're going to Star Wars Fan Fun Day, and you say to me, let me remind myself what you have to say. Sorry, bear with me. I'm somewhat of a figgy fiend myself. If you say, I'm somewhat of a figgy fiend myself, you could get yourself... Oh! One of 12 in honour of the 212th Clone Commander Cody pictures.
David's already on board.
There we go. So, there's 1 of 12 of these. Once they're gone, they're gone. Now... because I thought we can't just give away the Rubbing the Monday one to those at Liverpool Comic Con, I've done a limited run of 5 Rubbing the Mondays. So if you see me at Star Wars Fan Fun Day and you say Rubbing the Monday, you'll get yourself the picture that I've just shown. But this one's actually got the name of the event on the back. And it's 1 of 5. So there you go. If you say those words to me, those magic little words, and I've actually remembered to bring the fucking things with me, you could get yourself some sexy little art prints hand-signed by me from my reviews. Go on. Get up the toffees.
And if you come up to me, you can have a crisp high five, because I'm a tight bastard.
Hey, thanks. Oh, also, I've got some stickers, but I need to cut them up first, so it depends if I've actually got that done. Stickers!
Boom!
Stickers!
I fucking love stickers, mate.
Fucking love stickers. I love a good sticker. Stick that where the sun don't shine.
So there we go. Yeah. And I've got, like I say, I've got stickers too, but they're in my little bags because I've only done a small little run of stickers. So you can come and get your stickers off me as well. But yeah, the badges I've got tons of. So if you come and say hello, you'll get a badge regardless. But yeah, like I said, just to reiterate, we'll be at Cineworld Sheffield on April 25th. That's a week today, I believe.
Yeah. I ain't got nothing for you for that one. Sorry.
I have. I'll give you. I'll give you for everything for every print that Dan hasn't brought. I'll give you an extra badge. So yeah, we'll be there at Cineworld from 5 o'clock, just pottering about in the foyer before the movie starts at 7. Like I said, come and say hello. We'll have a chat about Star Wars. We'll give you some swag. Liverpool Comic Con then the following weekend, May 3rd. All 3 of us will be there on the Saturday, and then May the 4th be with you. We will be there once again. As well as the guys from Bantha Tracks. I think there's quite a few guests lined up for that event as well. Nez and Dunny will be there, of course, from Beer Toys and Bantha.
The legends.
Absolutely. It's gonna be a fucking Star Wars party all weekend, and I can't wait. It's gonna be brilliant. So yeah, if you're in the market, come and see us, come and say hello, and yeah, should be fun. Really excited for it. Really excited for it. It's gonna be good. So there we have it.
And well, if you're stuck at home as well, you can tune into my channel. I've got 3 videos going up. 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and 1 at night.
That's on May the 4th, right? Yeah.
And that's on May the 4th. If you're all alone, you've seen, sadly can't go to the local convention, I'm there to cheer you up with some content. Some creamiest content.
And all being well, if I can pull the flight stand out of my arse and get motivated, then I'll have got a little bit of something going up on May the 4th as well, but we'll keep that under wraps for now. Shall we dive into some reveals, chaps?
Yeah.
Oh,
I feel like
26 minutes in, it's going to be a chunky, girthy one. Come on now, let's get on it.
Let's. I hope we've all got some caffeine drinks.
MLG speed run.
Yeah, friggin' hell, we're
celebration.
We're going to be here a while. Right.
Rants may ensue. We will not be liable for profanity.
So I'm just going to say it. I feel, as a predominantly 6-inch superior scale collector, Joking. I get so much hate for that. Like, oh, I can't believe he's saying that after all these years of collecting 3 3/4 inch. What's he doing? It's in jest. I'm a purveyor of all the scales, and I feel like Celebration Day 1 has treated both scales really kindly. I can't lie. Like,
yeah.
I don't think there was a winner. So for a little change of pace, and just to treat you guys out there that are probably watching for the TVC stuff, we're going to dive into vintage collection first, and we're going to talk about something that I thought was totally left field, and I've just got to. Well, Dan's beat me to it.
That goes so fucking hard.
You're not kidding. I mean, I saw this get revealed, and I was like, why? I've just spent ages trying to track down a Power of the Force one, but I'm rebuilding that Power of the Force 2 collection, so I can't be mad. But this, I was not like. I know the return to Tatooine is a big thing at the minute. That story is continuing on as we lead into the release of the HasLab Cantina, but this was so unexpected. I didn't have this on my 2025 bingo card.
No.
And it's such a beauty as well. So this is, for those who can't see, who may be listening and pottering around in their own collection rooms, this is the TVC 2025 Bantha. And
like a Bantha.
Bravo, Hasbro. Bravo.
Well done. Well, flipping well done.
It's awesome. I can't believe they've done another one. I mean, the last one we got was, 2007?
Yeah.
When they did that 30th Anniversary Collection Battle Pack, and it was like it was more
prequel. It had a good perm.
Yeah. We actually saw one while we were out on his travels today, didn't we, Dan? When
we
were
did.
In Matlock, in the Vintage Toy Exchange, they got a loose 30th Anniversary Collection Bantha in one of the cabinets. Looking very, very matted.
Yeah, well loved.
But yeah, that previous release that they did was a battle pack as part of the 30th Anniversary Collection, more prequel based, because it came with like the female Tusken, and it didn't just come with the men, but it came with the women and the children too.
I did the thing.
I said the meme, and I remember that not peg warming, just being so oversaturated in Toys R Us back in the day. Like, every aisle end had just a tower of these Bantha battle packs on it, and I remember seeing it and thinking, Christ, is that really what they're churning out these days? And thinking that was bad. I can't believe what was I thinking that was like, oh God, something that could have been easily passed, because Banthas in general tend to fetch I mean, the Power of the Force one that I picked up cost me enough. That battle pack goes for an FD premium as well nowadays. But really to finally get one back out in circulation, like I said, I wasn't expecting this. Completely left field. And so good. I mean, this is just the packaging. I mean, we've got it in the vintage style box. We've got it with a vintage carded Tusken Bantha rider. But the Bantha itself is just so good. I mean, they've really gone to town on this one, haven't they?
I was really expecting them, if they were going to do it, it would be all plastic. And the fact that they've actually gone with fur is just... Oh.
This is what I mean.
Look at it.
It's one of those things that you'd have just expected them to... Like, I mean, we did the original trilogy wish list recently, didn't we, for Black Series? And one of your honourable mentions, Dan, was FX6, FX7, the medical droid from Empire Strikes Back. And I remember you saying, we all said, this is something that Hasbro will never do again because the tooling just probably isn't in their budget now. I can't believe that this is actually happening in 2025. Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, the RRP on this one is only something like 70, 80 quid, which I don't think is bad.
It feels like a lot, but it does. Considering the material.
It's that, and like I said, considering the going rate for a second-hand Power of the Force 2 or 30th Anniversary Collection Bantha nowadays, it's and the thing that really struck me with this one is the fact that it's got the articulated jaw, and they've sculpted all the teeth. It's so good. It's so good. I'm absolutely buzzing that we're getting this. I'm blown away. I'm speechless, to be honest. I can't believe it's happening.
I need it. It's an immediate pre-order for me, and I don't usually say that for Vintage Collection.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, I've got the Power of the Force 2 one, and the Power of the Force one is still, by today's standards, and in comparison with this one, I'd say decent. You know, it's not bad at all. It still holds up. The figure's a bit janky, obviously, by today's standards, so that's by the by. But the toy itself it's very similar in a lot of ways. But I'm definitely gonna have to. I'm gonna seriously consider this one for my my larger Episode 4 3 3/4 inch display. Absolutely, because I just love the Banthas. I think this is one of the weirdest. It's why I made such a point of picking one up from a Power of the Force collection, because it's just one of the weirdest things that they've done. Like, to release that as a toy.
Yeah.
It's just so.
What kids love to play with, the desert cows. Let's make those.
Yeah. It's just so good. It really, really is. It really is amazing. Galaxy-wide trader. I think the price on that Bantha is epic, considering the Power of the Force 30th anniversary and this one having a Tusken as well. Decent. Yeah. Can't argue. It's spot on. And like I said, it's just such a left field reveal. I don't believe that this has been pipelined. I don't believe that this is anything that was even rumoured. So to get this as part of that Journey to Tatooine and Return to Tatooine story, it's I'm buzzing. Bravo!
Amazing surprise, amazing.
Yeah, really, really good. It's a stunner. It really is. Bravo! Very, very impressed. Continuing on through the vintage collection, we'll get TVC. We'll go through TVC first, because another long overdue addition to the vintage collection line. I think a lot of people are going to be happy about this. Is Crosshair from the Bad Batch. James, I think this is probably more one for you than it is for either of us. I know you said, Dan, that you might get this one as well.
I mean, I might not get it because I haven't got Hunter. Because my vintage collection stuff is so, specifically focused. But it looks bloody nice.
It does, doesn't it? I mean, one of the things about vintage collection figures I've noticed recently is, like, I mean, we touched on this when myself and Dan touched on those reveals we got a couple of weeks ago. Like, Asajj Ventress, for example, just feels like a scaled-down version of that Black Series figure. And that's what vintage collection figures tend to feel like these days, is scaled-down. Like the Black Series and vintage collection figures, there's not much difference between the same characters. Whereas, I don't know, there's something about Crosshair that I'd argue, and I'm going to say it, you're going to be shocked, you're going to fall off your chairs, but I think this figure looks better than the Black Series one.
I agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, they've had time to develop it, so it should be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's mad what Matt... Yeah, I can see you just flagged it up, but... Whew,
That's
that's nuts.
You'll have to wait 2 years to get Wrecker now.
Yeah, well, that's what JC's saying. Hopefully it doesn't take a few more years for the next Bad Batch member. It probably will. It'll be ages. Once
everybody's finally got them.
I'm feeling all right.
They'll release all the Bad Batch once everyone's finally got them. They'll do a fucking HasLab Marauder and repaint them all in different colours.
Yeah.
No, that's when we'll get the Season 2 versions, but they'll release them all at the same time, and then everybody will be like, why the fuck didn't you do this with the Season 1 version? Yeah, bleeding arseholes. But I agree, Matt. Slight nitpick. He doesn't have the white painted target on his helmet. I don't think the Black Series one did either, did it?
No, it didn't, unfortunately.
Yeah. So that's something that they need.
It's also missing some red paint on his... it's not really a pauldron. His rifle rest, wherever you want to call it.
Oh, yeah.
But, I'd just like to highlight how packed in the bubble is. But Sabine on the Howler is a fucking deluxe. Do
you know what? Yeah, this is exactly... When I was putting these slides together for tonight, I was like, look at how packed that bubble is and look how many accessories are in it. Why isn't Crosshair a deluxe? Because look at the size of his weapon.
I bet they'll make Wrecker deluxe though, because he's a bit bigger.
Yeah, absolutely. They will.
Yeah, Wrecker
Love
definitely.
the logic, man. Love the
It's
logic.
brilliant, isn't it? It's so consistent. I mean, that's one of the things I have to applaud Hasbro on. I mean, they're killing it. Don't get me wrong. Figure wise, quality wise, my God, they're on fire.
Oh yeah.
But the pricing and how they're, I mean, this isn't a deluxe, but Hammerhead is.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit confused, but
I've got to say, my only other nitpick is I haven't got Hunter in hand, but there's obviously a lot of discourse in regards to removable helmets, and opposed to interchangeable ones. And obviously, Hunter came out before they decided to make that strategic change. So is he just going to look like he's got a great big old noggin, and everybody else will look a bit more proportionate? Will that annoy some people? I don't know.
Probably will, but.
Yeah.
It's just one of those.
It's very, very nice.
It's really, really good. Part of me is thinking now: do I go back and get Hunter? Do I pick up Crosshair when he's released? Because by the time the entire crew is out, the price of these figures is probably going to have shot up, and I'm going to have missed the boat. So I'm considering.
It's not a bad shout, Steve.
I'm thinking about it, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. The jury's out on this one for the time being. Dan, what about you? Are you picking this one up?
Hey, all right. No, like I said to you guys, I'd be tempted to get this one carded, and if I ever did meet Bradley D. Baker, get him to sign it, because that'd look pretty fucking sick with this signature on that. But lovely figure. Vintage collection, killing it. It's just shocking to me how it's taken this long to get another member of the Bad Batch. Shouldn't have been this long.
Yeah, it's been a while, but long overdue. But it's like we said on previous streams, like I'd rather they wait and do these figures to the best of their ability than get them and they not be as good as they possibly could have been a little bit later on down the line. So, this guy looks awesome. I'm keen. I'm curious to know whether I'm guessing it does, looking at the image in the bubble. I'm curious to see whether his blaster comes apart in the same way the Black Series one does.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Yeah, I would have thought so because of the backpack. So that's
Which
cool.
I'll be the guy. That's drastically inaccurate because in the show, it doesn't. The figure, the end of the blaster just tabs onto the side of the backpack. In the show, that don't fucking happen, but.
Yeah.
I just say that. Oh, fuck.
Look at that. He's that annoyed. He's throwing his camera. He's so mad about it. He's so mad.
No, that was Crosshair, that was. He just fucking pot shotted me.
Yeah. Like, slag off my lack of pain apps, will you?
That's it.
Gone. Get gone. I'm keen. It looks all right. Another figure we got from Vintage Collection is he's there.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, we don't have to cut the figure up to,
This was inevitable. But
it was.
I can't badmouth it because I'm gonna fucking buy it. So.
Yeah.
I've literally got one spot left on my Mandalorian shelf. One spot left, and it's for this beautiful bastard.
I'm with Harry on this one. I've got the armored one. Not bothering with this. I haven't even picked up the armored one yet. But yeah, I'm not inspired. I'm glad. It's another one of those. I'm like it with most figure releases now. If I don't get inspired by it, I'm just like, do you know what? I'm happy for the people that want it, but I'll just sit it out. It doesn't do anything for me. It's not an instant purchase. It's fine, but it's just kind of there. So I can take it or leave it. Dan, what about you? You don't seem. No, it's all right.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It's a Cobb Vanth in a red shooty shirt, and he's got his guns, and He's there. You go put him with Cad Bane, he'll shoot up, and I'll bim, bim, bim. That's great. Fun. Not for me, though. Not for me. Not.
Yeah, I mean, like it's like Matt says, it's another one of those where it's just been so long, and it's like I think that's part of one of the reasons. I mean, like the Forces with Jesse has said it in reviews on his channel. Like part of the enjoyment of the media is having the toys to, for lack of a better term, play with at the same time that media is out and about, and it's like, you know, it kind of, I don't know. There's just something that just feels too little, too late about some of these figures when they come out. It's like, yeah, it's great. I'm glad that it's there, but where was it 2 years ago? You know what
would have enhanced this release? Just on that point, put it in a 4-pack. You know them little 4-packs that they've been doing with like troop builders.
Oh, yeah.
Have some Mos Pelgo, like citizens from the Book of Boba Fett, like end fight thing.
Yeah, that could have been cool.
That would have been a pretty cool little 4-pack.
Get the pikes out.
Yeah.
And then everybody would. I suppose everyone would have been annoyed. They'd have like 20 fucking Cobb Vants.
Yeah,
I'll do it as a battle pack.
No, but if they did
bring back battle packs.
Yeah. What's the Pike leader's name called from Book of Boba Fett? The one that converses with the.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I'm not.
Do you know the one I mean?
Name.
Yeah, he's you know, he's got that scene at the end.
Yeah. He's more ornate looking than the rest.
Yeah, stick him out, get a Pike soldier out and Cobb Vanth and put it in one of those three, not special action figure sets, but you know the ones like they're doing with Heir to the Empire where you've got Joruus and Thrawn and Peli.
Yeah.
Individually carded but in a set. I think that'd have been better.
Bit more interesting.
Yeah,
Bit
like I said,
spice.
it's just one of those. This figure, it's fine, it's great. It's, you know, for what it is, it's absolutely spot on. But I just think it needs that little bit more, like you said, Dan. That bit of spice.
A little bit more spice for the
Bit of spice.
The red t-shirt boy.
Yeah, it's fine though.
Yeah.
Just 2 years too late, like everything else. What else have we got? Let's just have a flick through because I've not labelled these TVC and Black Series like an absolute idiot, so I've got to remember which one's which. Okay, so we've got another. It's an army builder, and it's a cool figure, and strangely enough, I'm more excited about this than I am about Cobb Vanth, but I like this. This is cool. So this is again a sort of rescaled Black Series release. It's the what is it? Rocket launcher trooper from Jedi Survivor, and I'm here for this because I love a good what's the word? Not army builder, but like, you know, when you get all the different ranks and different classes from games and all that sort of stuff. I think years ago I made a case in our very, very first Gaming Greats wishlist for all the different classes of Stormtrooper from Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2. This hits me in that sort of area because it's like, yeah, we've got the trooper that came with the rotary cannon. Now we've got this guy. Like, yeah, I love it. Like, all different variations of troopers is so cool. It's not one that I'm going to jump on. I didn't jump on the Black Series one either.
No,
but you know, when it eventually hits clearance, I'll pick it up then. It's not the attitude to have. I know I'm not helping the line, but it's just how I feel. You know, I'm down for this though. This is nice. It's this will be an impulse buy if and when I see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like it. What about you guys? You down?
That's a pass for me. This one is.
Fair.
I just don't touch that, you know, the particular video game series in TVC, so that rules it out for me.
I was going to say, I think when we get into the 6-inch lads, I think there'll be some comments to be made.
Oh wow!
But yeah, do you know what? I like it.
It's alright. It's alright.
It's cool. I like the rocket launcher. I think that's a really cool design.
Yeah.
This is probably one that I'll likely end up picking this one up instead of the Black Series one. Just because I've, like I said many times before, my Black Series space is limited. So this is one that I can easily fit into the collection, especially now I've had had a bit of a rearrange of the 3 3/4 inch stuff, and I've made myself some space. So yeah, that one will be going on the shelf if and when I find it, and if and when I pick it up. But yeah, it's cool. I do agree with what Galaxy Wide Trade is saying though, and that's part of one of the reasons why my excitement for a lot of these new releases gets sort of subdued. Galaxy Trader said, I'm happy to pay a higher price on fully new figures and characters, but easy army builders like this feel like we should get a slightly lesser RRP because the mold and sculpt is already there. It's just it's more or less a reissue or a retool. They've not had to set aside a huge chunk of the budget to make this one. So yeah, I am totally in support of that, and that's the main kicker for making decisions when it comes to purchasing figures is just the price, because I just don't feel like it's justified in a lot of cases.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So it's one of them. But like I said, if and when I see it, I might pick it up. I said the exact same, like I said, about the rotary cannon trooper from Fallen Order or Survivor, whichever one it's from. I wasn't intent on picking that one up, but then when it went on clearance, I ended up army building it because I stripped it down and I took all the pauldrons off and I just shoved all the troopers into my Tanta V4 arcade runner set. So I'm all for it. I'm keeping stormtroopers in circulation is something I'm always in favour of. So it's fine. I'm happy for those that want it.
Well, we've said it before, haven't we? If there's reuse to be done in a wave, then it needs to be a trooper.
Yeah.
If that's done to fund other figures, then that's what you're going to sell the most of. Crack on.
Yeah, definitely. Continuing on with Jedi Survivor, and I think this is one, James, that you've manifested on previous streams, and for that reason, I'm happy to see it. This is mint. This is class. So happy to see this. I mean, like I've said it before, like I'm not majorly connected to Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor to know a ton about this character and to be all in on it. But just from a purely action figure standpoint, this is really, really cool to see. And James, like I said, I think you've made a case for this one numerous times on wishlist streams that we've done. So
this is obviously coming to Black Series as well, which is the one that my money's going to go on. But they definitely made the right decision in releasing it for both scales at the exact same time. Doing this for every release would obviously get stale, but to have a couple of these, to balance the scale crowd, it's definitely the way forward. And
100%.
What a fucking cool character to do it with, man. Because both lines have been suffering daily of, Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order. This is a fucking trooper. He is a trooper. He is a droid. He is, no characters at all. And
that's one of the things we said, wasn't it? When Dig and Gera got released, it was like finally new characters for the Jedi games. So this is really, really cool to see.
Yeah, Jedi video game fans were winning during this stream, and you'll see more of that later on.
Yeah, definitely.
This is great.
I mean, we'll obviously touch on it when we get into the Black Series reveals as well. But just from that balancing the scale standpoint, how do you feel about the fact that this one, the TVC release, comes with the alternate hand, and the Black Series one doesn't?
Is that paid that much attention to it, to be honest, mate?
Well, it was Dan that pointed it out to me because I didn't notice either.
Yeah, I thought I was a bit sneaky of him, to be honest.
Yeah,
it's going to be one of those, isn't it, where the TVC crowd are going to be like, we got you, finally we got one up. I think the Black Series one could have done with it, but
I don't think you're going to notice it, especially if you put that effect, because they both give the same effect.
Well,
that's the thing.
It's alright.
That's the thing I'm really happy about with this one, is that just how many accessories it comes with and all the effects and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, this is what Morgan Elsbeth should have been, man.
Yes.
Like with all the effects and the weapons and stuff. Like, this is, I love it. I'm in favour. And
I'm happy they went with this version as well, because I'm a salty little bitch. Every time I mention this, there's always someone that goes, "But the Jedi Fallen Order version in the more traditional Night Sister outfit would be better." I'm like, no, it wouldn't. Be quiet, please.
Do you know what? I think there's a case to be made for both.
Yeah, there is, absolutely, but
yeah, I think it would have been. I think it'd have been quite cool just to play devil's advocate here, James. Not to shit on your opinions at all, but just to play devil's advocate. I think there's a case to be made for getting one version in Black Series and one version in TVC, just to give if I mean you're going to piss off either crowd on that front, but I think
my stance on it always was she's more of a character in the second game. And far more prominent than she is in the first.
Yeah, definitely. I think from
that's my stance on it. That's what warrants it in my mind. But,
yeah, I think from a story standpoint, absolutely. But I'm just thinking of from an action figure standpoint. I mean, 'cause up to now, the only piece of Merrin merch we've had is the Gaming Greats Funko Pop, and I've got that one, and I'm like, oh, that's a really cool look, and I'd love to see that in either scale, to be honest. Black Series preferably, because I think it'd be done more justice. But yeah, I think both outfits. I mean, now that this one's out, I think there's a pretty good chance that we're going to see a Fallen Order version as well. Maybe somewhere down the line. But I think there's definitely, like I said, I think there's a case to be made for both outfits, and I think they both look really, really good in whatever scale they decided to do it in. But yeah, like you said, I'm just really glad that we're finally getting this character. I'm happy for you because, like I said, that Gaming Great stream we did a few months back, I think that was one of your picks.
Absolutely, man, absolutely. It's such a cool dynamic. I know you guys don't do the games very much, but I just love that whole sort of polar opposite of Cal believes in, for argument's sake, at that point, Cal is the last of the Jedi, and Merrin is the last of the Night Sisters. Two races that otherwise, would have been biting each other's heads off, find a common ground because they're fighting a common enemy. I just think that's quintessential Star Wars.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the black and white of it. So
yeah.
So
I mean, like you've just said, like me and Dan don't tend to. We're not the gamers of the group by any stretch, but for me, like getting video game characters, it doesn't matter where they're from. For me, it just taps into that old expanded universe feel of like just getting something that's not from the movies, it's not from the shows, it's just something a little bit left field and just something a little bit different. And even though like a lot of stuff that we get now from be it a film or a TV show, it's like when you get something from a game, it just feels like they're taking a deeper dive. That's how it's always felt for me when we get game figures or novel figures or comic figures. It's just a deeper dive into that lesser touched on part of Star Wars.
For me, it kind of makes me do research into the character. So even though I've seen gameplay of Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order and like followed the story of it, I really like getting characters where I haven't had that. And it forces me to do like a bit of lore reading, a bit of a deep dive to learn the character, and then that kind of does influence my buy even more. Even if I I think it looks cool, I buy it because it looks cool.
Yeah.
But then you get the added context and the enjoyment of learning about that character. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you because that's what I've done pretty much with every sort of expanded universe figure that I've ever bought. Like I'm not it used to be back in the day, but not so much now. And into the early 2000s wasn't a massive gamer. So like when figures such as Darth Revan or Darth Malak or Darth Malgus or Shea Vizsla came out, it's like, yeah, that figure and the character looks amazing. I know absolutely zilch about the character, so I'm going to get the figure and then I'm going to look into it, and it gives you that. You want it from an action figure standpoint because it just looks so cool, but then it also gives you that better appreciation of the character as well, even if you don't necessarily play the games. So, yeah, I'm always in favour of figures coming out from games, and even if I've not played them, from games, from comics, from novels. It's just like it's tapping into that, like I said, that old feeling of getting stuff from the expanded universe. It's just a cool feeling.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm here for it. This is one I might get. I don't have a Cal yet from Fallen Order or Survivor. I've got a couple of the troopers, but I do need to get myself a Cal Kestis at some point. So this might be the final push that I need to get one of those. Definitely. Wrapping things up on the vintage collection front, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, feel free to correct me, lads, but we've got a 3 3/4 inch version of Dark Trooper Armor Moff Gideon. I think it was Matt who brought it up in the chat earlier, saying that this one is slightly different to the Black Series one because it doesn't come with the human portrait underneath the helmet. So in that respect, it's like I've said on previous streams. For me, I'm running out of space on my Black Series shelf, but I really want the Black Series version of this. But now that we've got it in TVC, it might be one that I might have to favour this one over the Black Series one just from a space point of view, but to get the character on. I've got I forget the name. Is it not the Galaxy of Adventures? The
Force Battles, is it? Something like that?
Yeah, that new sort of 5 POA line that they've done.
Yeah.
I've got the Dark Trooper Gideon version of this actually already, so maybe I will prioritise the Black Series version instead. Because that's a decent figure, for what it is. So yeah, I might pass on this one. I'm really happy that it's out there though, and it feels refreshing. Like we've said with Merrin, like to get the Merrin Vintage Collection and the Black Series one announced at the same time. This feels really refreshing as well because it's not long since we've had the Black Series one announced. So to get this character in both scales relatively around the same time it's really, really cool to see, and it's something I definitely think that they need to do more of. Yeah, like I said, whether or not I pick this one up immediately, I don't know. But what about you guys? I know, James, you tend to dabble with the 3 3/4 inch Mandoverse stuff, don't you?
Yeah, so, you've seen from a collection video, I like to display everything to showcase a story, a visual story. So I'll definitely get this one. I've been hoping this was coming. I am a bit disappointed it doesn't come with the unhelmeted head, because it's not like we can do an easy swap. He's visibly different in season 3. He's got no mustache. I know it's not a massive fucking thing, but I'm a stickler for detail. I like accuracy, and for the majority of the time we see him in this armor, he is without the helmet.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is what it is. It's not a deal breaker by any means, but I just think having a character like this without the helmet, it breaks it up on the shelf, especially when it's sort of the next generation of a Dark Trooper. If you've got him surrounded by other helmeted troopers, just brings a bit more life to a more forefront character.
Yeah,
but I'm looking forward to it. I'm happy. I'll buy it.
Definitely.
You'll see me scurry for a pre-order in about an hour because I'm a little worrywart.
What about you, Dan? Are you going to get this one, or are you going to just get the Black Series one?
You call that a Dark Trooper? This is a Dark Trooper. No.
Yeah, Black Series for you.
I've got Black Series one on pre-order already, thank you.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Galaxy Wide makes a good point. We pay 17 to 20 quid for these figures, James. 100% with you. They should be accurate. Yep. Can't argue fairer than that.
It's not like we haven't waited 2 years, is it?
Yeah, precisely. Matt's also made a very good point that hopefully we get the Praetorians on the May the 4th stream to really flesh out that scene. Do you know what? Going back to what we were saying about the multi-packs, and you mentioned it, Dan, with the blank box. I call them the blank box packs. Just the army builder packs, like the white box ones with the illustrations on. I think that Praetorians would be a prime candidate for one of those. Same figure, different weapons. Get 4 or 5 of them out there.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. Yeah, I'm here for that. Hopefully we see that. That'd be class. It is now time to dive into Black Series, and
Is it me or do it get warm in here?
Mate, I'm sweating.
I'm rubbing the Monday.
just to keep it on, like, just to keep the momentum rolling with what we're talking about in a minute, like with video games and stuff, we'll dive into the Jedi Survivor stuff first. So, as we said when we were talking about Merrin from the Vintage Collection, she is getting a Black Series counterpart, and this just is so cool. And just to reiterate what we were saying with the Vintage Collection one, like the fact that we're getting effects with this is so good. It's something we don't see enough of, and I love how this looks. So I'm definitely getting this one.
So cool. I mean, we were just looking at a smaller fucking version of it, but this is the one, man. This is the one.
Yeah. This is the one that James, like I said, manifested when we did our Gaming our Gaming Great stream a few months back.
It took some time, but the prayer circle worked.
That's it.
It's the gentleman's choice of scale. It certainly is. And she looks wonderful.
She does. Really, really good. I mean, we can't really say much more about this one that we haven't said about the Vintage Collection one. It's just that this one's bigger.
Just doesn't come with an extra jazz hand, but that's fine.
That's fine. Not an issue.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like the head sculpt on this one is slightly better. Me and you were saying earlier, weren't we, Dan, before we went live, that the Vintage Collection one just seems, I don't know, with the hair, it just seems a little bit off. Not quite sure. I can't put my finger on what it is that just doesn't seem right about it, but this just looks so class.
Yeah. Something a bit different for the shelf, and that's going to look mint on my Fallen Order.
Yeah.
And Jedi Survivor shelfie. Yeah. It's gonna be yum.
Definitely. That's what I love. Basket. That's what I love about the effects, is that it just adds something different. Like you said, with the effects and stuff, like having having figures in dynamic poses and having them pose with different accessories and stuff, it just adds that life and that flavour to a display. So I'm here for this one for that reason alone. And it'll make a very nice addition to my Gaming Greats and an expanded universe shelf. Like Dave says, the only 6-inch scale. Oof, yes. Infamous has joined us. That's a strange looking sequel trilogy character. We've done. Don't blame us. Mate. Don't blame us. It's Hasbro's fault. It's Hasbro's fault. They dropped these reveals on us when we already have a topic at hand. But we'll get to the wish list portion shortly. Don't you worry. We'll be onto it in a bit. Continuing on with Jedi Survivor, because bloody hell, they're going to town on that property, aren't they? They really are. And this was as left field as the Bantha for me. And again, no major connection to the character. So James, I'm going to let you take the floor with this one, just because your wealth of knowledge is probably there rather than ours.
Hey.
Oh yes.
Talk about glup shitters.
So that's Turgle. That's Abraham from The Walking Dead with his dog, and then we've got Turgle, fucking fantastic, fucking scuba Stev, man.
Talk us through it. Imagine that. I mean, I'm sure that everybody watching has so much knowledge and so much connection to these characters. I ain't got a clue. I'm absolutely.
Turgle's I know of Turgle because he's just a goofy little guy voiced by the person who voices Invader Zim. And that's my biggest affiliation with him.
It's just such a weird
such a dweeb. I love him.
You just meet him getting harassed by people, and it's that typical save the the little crazy guy, and you can go up and talk to him, and he'll just come out with the most random bullshit going. He just looks stupid and cool, and it's everything a Star Wars alien should be.
Yeah.
But 100%. Scuba Stev, man, it's just one of those little in-game things. It's every time you come across a body of water, after you meet him initially, he'll be there, and you'll talk to him, and he'll tell you a little tale, and he'll dive into the water and find a new fish or aquatic life form, and he's cataloguing them all. And then you can talk to him after, and he'll tell you like an old fisherman's tale. And if you listen to them all, and they go on for a good fucking 5 minutes, 10 minutes, some of them are just dialogue. But he eventually starts talking about Pergil. I think there's something. I'm not sure if it's Scuba Step. I might be wrong. I know there's something in there about Oppo Rancisis from the prequels, and a lot of his stories are actually really cool and explain, and just provide a lot of fucking meat to just little Star Wars whispers and daft little things. But it's so well done. He's such a cool little guy. Like, I fucking love him, man.
I'm getting like Babu Frick vibes from it.
Yeah.
Like, I love the inclusion of little accessories like this. I mean, just talking about accessories and stuff like. My biggest takeaway from this set is that it gives me so much hope for a Black Series Sice Noodles, because it's just it's just such a bizarre figure. And I mean, like I said, as someone who's not really dived into the world of Jedi Survivor and the gaming universe, like, I'm assuming the Cal figure that's in this set is based on some sort of customization that you can make of the character in the game, rather than how he actually appears. Because, like Grandma Poppy says, that mustache, man, like that can't be a canonical look for him. Sure.
I mean, come on, right. The biggest problem with Fallen Order was the only customization you could do was change the color of your outfit, and everybody wanted character customization. So for the second game, there was like no bars held. They fucking threw everything at it. Hairstyles, facial hair, every outfit under the sun. There's outfits that are based on Han Solo, Luke Skywalker. You name it, you can do it, right? They did not have to go this deep, and dare I say, this fucking stupid.
That's what I love about this.
I want to know what conversation happened in the boardroom at Hasbro to make this of all the other versions. But then, at one point they went, it's fucking stupid. That won't sell as a single character. Can we get well, that'll be the one. I've figured it out. I've had an epiphany. It's fucking reuse. It's one of the skins that's the bare bones of the figure they've already got. So they've just slapped a load of stuff on it. But we're all gonna buy it because you've packed it with those guys.
Yeah, I mean, character selection aside, like, just looking at that inbox picture, like, look at all the accessories that are in it. Like, my God, like I said, I've got no major connection to this game and these characters, but I am buying this purely for the fact that this is everything that a multi-pack should be.
Oh yeah.
Accessories are bang on. Like, it's a weird alien. It's a deep cut. It's weird. I mean, we've said it so many times on these streams that weird Star Wars is the Star Wars that we're here for, and this just encapsulates that so well.
Yeah.
This is the weirdest Star Wars.
More of this, no matter what series or film it's from. More of this. If you've got to repack something stupid that nobody wants, but then you're throwing in something so left field that we're all going to go giddy over it, give us more of that.
Absolutely.
100%.
Every lightsaber variation that you can use in the game, and it comes with it. This is what they should have done with that very first deluxe Cal that they came out with the poncho and the double-bladed lightsaber. They should have given you every colour blade that you could have in that game, because there was only about 4 or 5. Yeah. And this one, they've gone, oh, well, here you go. You can have the Shoto. You can have the fucking double-bladed lightsaber. You can have the cross-guard heavy blade lightsaber. Fill your boots. And I fucking will.
Yeah.
Can I just say as well, just slightly deviating from the accessories, it is about Frog Boy, because I'm in love with him.
It's mental, isn't it?
I can't believe how much articulation they've packed into him, because I genuinely thought they would just do a static figure like some of the 3D printer artists out there that have, brought this to life for those of us who are a little bit impatient. Just the articulation alone on that Turgle is just incredible.
So just on that point, Dan, just talk us through it, because like looking from it, because I've literally glanced at some of these pictures, and my first thoughts with this one was, oh, he's not got knee articulation and he's not got elbow articulation. Well,
just looking closer at it, I think he does have knee articulation. His ankle articulation's there.
Yeah, going to say, you can see the ankles, and I'm guessing he's going to have the shoulders as well. But
yeah, I think elbows could even be there as well, but they're well hidden. I don't know if it's Hasbro's cheeky photoshopping or what, but I don't know.
I wouldn't be mad if not.
Yeah.
But
no, I wouldn't either. I'd
It's
be
more
happy with this.
articulation.
Stars, man.
It's more articulation than I was expecting.
Yeah,
put
which
it
is
that
fine.
way. And
Yeah,
that's great.
absolutely. I mean,
for a character like that.
Just on that note, Out of the Basement have joined us. What's up, boys? What's
Hello.
up, guys? Hope you're well.
Hello.
These guys are like, when it comes to Black Series engineering and articulation and all that sort of stuff, they dive into that stuff deep. So if anybody's going to enlighten us on how posable this guy is, it's going to be them. So with a bit of luck, they'll drop us a comment and let us know what what the deal is with this guy. But yeah, it's just so bizarre. It's just that
little smile.
It's just that box. It just looks class. I can't get over how much they've packed into this set. It just looks amazing. I'm so here for it. It's so cool. It's unreal. It feels like a fever dream to get something like this. And like you said, it just gives you hope for so many more weird characters in the Black Series. I think this does for Cy Snootles and the other Max Rebo band members what Sebulba did for other aliens. Like, I think Sebulba was just open the floodgates, and now we're just getting all these weird aliens, and I'm like, just glup shit over the hell out of this line, please. And if this is a sign of things to come, like on the subject of sequel trilogy characters, which we will get to in a bit, give me Claude.
Yes.
Yeah. If this is goofy Star Wars in the Black Series, give us Claude. There's no reason not to now.
If we're getting this level of character from Jedi Survivor, though, I'm sorry, but my expectations are now high, Hasbro. I want Grease.
Yes,
I
Grease.
want Cordova. I want them all. Everything. Give it, man.
I was gonna say, because I think like when we've done our gaming greats wish lists in the past, like I think every one of your picks came from Jedi Survivor, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's quite possible, mate. Yeah.
So yeah,
I can't
keep
recall
manifesting
accurately, but
keep manifesting, mate.
I'll cross my appendages in the hopes that we get other characters.
Yeah, they're clearly listening to you in some way, shape, or form. So keep. Like I said, keep manifesting. There we go. The lads are here. Wrists, shoulders, ankles. That's what I thought. But no articulation on the elbows or knees. However, if it's what it takes to get exactly that kind of wacky alien as a one-off, I'm more than down. Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Yeah.
I can't agree. Can't agree more.
Brandon, if you're listening, mate, Deluxe Ogdo Bogdo, cheers.
He's
just a giant. He's a giant fucking frog that you have to fight, like a massive toad-looking thing.
Yeah. To be fair, I mean,
I
don't think it needs any other articulation, does it? Like, it's just the fact that it's there. It's
It's the smile, that damn smile.
Oh, dear.
Fucking superb. Bravo. Take a bow, Hasbro. Right.
Patrick was returning to the Black Series just in a different way than we thought.
Right. We're getting excited because Hasbro have just cooked. They really have. They've just done everything that they've put out so far. Is I'm just gonna.
It's been a long day on it. We're all fucking tired. We're all stupidly excited.
Oh my god! I can't even. I really can't. Like, I'm just gonna If this is the moment now where it's like, okay, yeah, let's just take a breather because I feel like we just need to sit for a minute and just appreciate what we're getting next. Because as a product of the 90s, as a boy who grew up with Power of the Force 2 and the Expanded Universe and Shadows of the Empire, I mean, you talk about this set and you say fever dream. Like, for me, to get this next character in the Black Series, like I said, I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
that jawline.
what a chap.
Look at them muscles. Look at that outfit.
Oh, yes!
It's everything I wanted
And more.
and more. It's absolute. I mean, they had me at Shizo, but they've taken Shizo and they've just raised the bar, and I'm like, this is if I don't jump on in about 45 minutes time and pre-order anything, this is the one that I'm pre-ordering.
Yep, 100%.
Because my God,
what a handsome bastard.
I just can't. I don't have words.
It's perfection. There's nothing to critique. It is that it is. That's it. That's it.
Everything that I hoped for. It's just
may I interrupt with breaking news, boys?
Breaking news.
To further an off-screen comment, I'm sorry for everybody watching. If you want that Ronin set, you can now order it to the UK from Amazon America.
Ah, okay. Yeah, because we saw that.
If you want it.
Yeah, it went up on Amazon US, didn't it? Just before we went live on air. So yeah, I can't do anything right now because we're live. But post production, I'll stick a link in the video description if I remember. Yeah, that Ronin set is a beaut. We touched on that. Me and Dan touched on that in the last stream we did.
Very sexy.
Very, very sexy. But yeah, let's just go back to this sexy specimen. What a fucking unit! Look at him.
Chad!
Look at him. I mean, like, I've seen a bit of the discourse online so far as being like, oh well this and oh well that and blah, blah, blah. Let's just appreciate the fact that, you know, we've got Dash fucking Rendar in the Black Series. Like, that is something that when Black Series started, I thought would never be a thing.
100%.
You know,
100%.
This feels like a fever dream because this is just something that is just so. I mean, we knew it was coming because it got leaked on that blurb when Shizo went up for pre-order on Pulse months ago. But to actually see it come to life is just next level.
What's utterly mental is the fact that this is the only Dash render we've ever had. The Power of the Force one.
Yeah, no vintage collection version. No. I mean, you think about like the expanded universe and stuff, and some of the deep cuts that Hasbro were making back in sort of the early 2000s. I mean, look at the 30th anniversary collection. Look at the Legacy collection and the amount of expanded universe characters that they were releasing around that time. We even got an update to Prince Shizo in the Legacy line in the comic packs. The fact that we didn't get Dash Rendar at any point between 1997 or 1996, and now blows my mind.
Criminal. And even I'd say it's criminal that we haven't even had him in vintage collection.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest. Wow.
But this is just, I mean, my only issue with it, and it's not even an issue, it's just, well, I would have liked to have seen it, but I'm not going to complain at all. The large cannon backpack that he had in the Power of the Force 2 line would have been mint to see in Black Series. But everything about this I love. I mean, like I said, I've seen the discourse, and some of the people have said, like, oh, well, the portrait's not right because he's not bearded, he's not got the stubble, blah, blah, blah. There's so many different interpretations of what Dash looks like. There's so many, there's different concept art, there's different images from comic books and, trading cards and, all these different multimedia projects that were around for Shadows of the Empire, and there's no consistent look for Dash Rendar. I mean, you go back to that Power of the Force figure, Dan, that you showed earlier, and that figure's got like the arms covered up, he's got sleeves. That's one of the things I'm really happy about with this guy is that they've done it with
got his muscles.
Got this, you can see Oh, he's such a beefy boy. I love him.
I was just saying to you guys before we came on, because naturally, out of the three of us, if you guys haven't gathered yet, I'm a few years behind everyone else. The Star Wars hadn't quite grabbed me yet when this was at the forefront of.
James, this is my Turgle.
Yeah, I'm so chuffed for you guys that not only that this was coming, because we knew it was coming for a few months now, but they've actually delivered. There's no.
Yeah.
They haven't tried to half-arse it with other parts from another character. Like, if this came out, let's say, 3 years ago in the publishing line, it would have been dreadful. It would have been absolutely dreadful. And they could have done it. It's a possibility. It might have happened. I think this is... clearly there are other things that attest to it, but I think this is the one. If this doesn't tell collectors and fans that Hasbro are indeed listening, never mind what shortcomings they may have, everyone isn't perfect. This is the thing that shows that we're being listened to more now than we have been for the last 10 years.
Absolutely.
Because they've taken something that, I mean, hopefully you don't crucify me for it. They've taken a niche. So, it's a specialised Star Wars subject, right? This is just...
Right. Hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Since you're listening, Kyle Katarn. I'm going to bang that drum. For as long as I possibly can. Until
Go blue in the gills.
When I am sat here, when I am sat in this chair with a slide on my screen with an official Black Series Kyle Katarn figure, I'm going to be like fucking Thanos at the end of Avengers. I'm just going to be sat there. Do you know, like, I mean, this is pretty damn close. This is like, I'm one step away. Like, Dash Rendar is literally like, there's him and there's Kyle. Well, after that, like, maybe don't do it, Brandon, because you'll not get any more money out of me, because then I'll just be satisfied as a collector. And you want me to keep spending money, but fucking hell, can you? It's. Do you know what? Yes, they are, James. They are, Brandon. Yeah. They are. I am so thankful. It's. God. It's just.
Since you're here, Brandon. First of all, cheers, mate. We see your Instagram story. We see what character you're zooming into,
we see
mate.
that.
We see that. We see what you're doing.
We see that. You're tickling my little pickle. Come on now.
Seth, ectoplasm. Just fucking go.
I just want to take a little turn, Steve. Admiral Trench.
You cheeky boy. Go on now.
Cheeky little scamp. No, I mean, between this, Prince Shizo, Savage Press, like, who would have thought? Not me.
Who'd have thought? Not me. Not me.
Do you know what I mean?
Look at us. Look at us.
Look at us. We're eating good. We're eating good. I mean, I can't say any more about it. Dash Rendar, Shadows of the Empire. Give me more of this. Luke Skywalker in Coruscant Guard disguise. Like, yes. It is a good time to be a fan. It's a very, very good time to be a fan. I am very, very. I'm happy. I'm a happy chappy. So Dan, will this be one that you pick up, mate?
Hey, I might do, I think about it. I might get it at some point. Now, obviously, immediately as soon as it goes on Star Action Feed, straight in my basket. Get up in there. Come on now.
What about you, James? Not being the 90s child that we are. Like, what are we saying?
Too right, I'm buying one, my friend. I can't let the side down, first of all, but to bring Dan's point back up and yours as well, everybody's point back up. Adding characters like this makes you want to learn more about them. It makes you it makes your shelf look a little more interesting. I was talking to Collector Cove 90. I fucking forgot he was messaging me earlier. 93. I thought it was 3. I doubted myself. Fucking do that all the time. Never mind. I digress. And we were having a conversation the other day. Oh, when I got Prince Shizel, where have you put him in your display, mate? It's like, well, I want to put him at the end of the Empire Strikes Back, but I haven't got room on the Empire Strikes Back shelf. So I've cleared a little space before the Jabba's Palace stuff starts. I'm going to have Prince Shizel. I'm going to have Luke in his guard outfit. I'm going to have Dash Rendar, and then I'm going to have Leia in the Bausch disguise, and that'll then lead into Return of the Jedi nicely.
Oh, okay, that's smart.
Yeah,
but then Tom was saying, well, I haven't got room on my Return of the Jedi shelf, so I'll put mine at the end of the Empire Strikes Back, and it fucking works. I love little things like that.
Yeah,
it gets people talking. It gets people involved.
That's it.
It makes a toy line more than just a toy line.
Yeah, so it makes it an experience, doesn't it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. This idiot put Shizel on flipping Solo's shelf.
But you know what? It
works, mate.
It still works. Yeah. In that respect,
he's a Feline, isn't he?
You could have thrown him on your Clone Wars shelf if that, you know, in that respect. Where but again, like talking about like displays and stuff, completely again going off on a tangent, but we're here for hours, guys. So you know, like we said, buckle up. I've got a little expanded universe shelf going on, so I've got all my publishing, all my gaming greats, all my expanded universe figures, all on one shelf. So at the front, I've got like you may or may not see it on May the 4th. But there's a little shelf I've got, and it's got I'm looking at it now. Across the front, we've got Bastilla Shan, we've got Darth Malak, then we've got Starkiller, we've got Dagan Gera, we've got Shizo, we've got Jorah Sabaoth, we've got the Republic Commandos, we've got White Darth Vader. I love the eclecticism. Is that a real word? I'm guessing it is. Eclecticity, eclecticism, ectoplasm. Eclecticity, just the hodgepodge of characters that are on that shelf, and I've got one of my favorite shelves in my 3 3/4 inch collection is my EU shelf, because there's just all these misfit characters that don't fit in anywhere else in your movie displays or anything like that. Like it's just it remains like video games, comic books, all that sort of stuff. It's my favourite part of Star Wars to collect because it's weird, it's wacky, it's like you said, James, it's a talking point. You know, you get people coming around who look at your collection and you go, I've never seen that guy in Star Wars before. It's like, well, let me tell you a little bit about this guy.
That's the one, mate. I love it.
Yeah, it's absolutely class, and I'm here for more of it, and I'm so glad that we're getting it. So glad. It's just pure joy. It makes me so happy. It takes me right back to being a kid. Like this is giving me the joy of collecting that I had when I was like 8 years old, and that's what it's about for me. It's just about that joy.
Oh,
thank you.
Yeah.
Enough said, Dan. Enough said.
Yeah. Come on now.
So yeah, Dash Rendar is a good one. I'm here for it. Continuing on throughout the Black Series line, we only have, how many more have we got? 2 more reveals. So we'll and then we can get into the meat and bones. Where's it gone?
I feel like we can get these ones done pretty quickly. Let's be honest. Come on now.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? Yeah. But bosh. Right. So I'm here for it. I'm glad that he's getting put back out. I thought that I would be getting this purely because I don't have a Chewbacca on my Episode 4 shelf, but I've looked and I do. He's just at the back. I didn't know he was there, so I can take or leave it. Again, I'm not too familiar with how much reuse is going on and how much is new with this guy.
I'm just having a look at that now, Steve. That's the one thing. A lot's been going on today. So one thing I didn't think to have a look at.
It's like you can already tell that the head and the paint job is new. which I'm here for, because this looks to be, I mean, regardless of whether it's reuse or not, this looks to be the best Black Series Chewbacca that we've had so far. And so, like I said, the head and the paint job is definitely new. The arms and the legs to me look like reuse, but I can't tell. It just looks a little. It's definitely not that first Black Series Chewie, because that one felt a lot slimmer. I mean, Django Fett's 220 has just mentioned in the chat that it kind of looks like the TFA one, the Force Awakens version, which wasn't bad. To be fair, it weren't a bad figure. So I wouldn't be angry if they just plonked a new head on that body. But yeah,
I think the majority of it's new. I think the arms could be new, because I don't think you could get that much bend on them before.
No.
And it didn't have it didn't have the hanging fur at the wrist, or as much of it. The lower legs are the only things that strike me as reuse, but that's just because of how the feet look like clumps.
Yeah.
Everything else has got significantly more fur detail.
Do you know what?
That's where I'm going for. But
I'm going to say it like Chewie figures have never been bad in the Black Series. They've always been decent. They've always delivered. So whether it's new, whether it's reuse, I don't mind. It's fine. It's good to see, and I'm really happy that we're getting redos of the core characters, because the majority of them haven't been touched since sort of 2012, 2013. You know, it's been like 10 years since we've had Luke and Leia. So to get the new ones that we got recently of those, it's just nice to get updated, definitive versions of each one. So this I'm here for. It might be one that I'll probably graze over this one just because I'm happy with the one I've got. Do you think you guys will pick it up? Because I know Dan, I don't know about you, James, but I know Dan, you picked up the Luke and Leia, didn't you?
Yeah, and I think, I don't know, I'm split. I'm very split. Because I think I've got the very first release of Chewbacca. And I don't know, I always felt like the arms you couldn't pose as well as the newer release. So I might end up getting this one just as a replacement.
The thing that always got me was the fact that, like, when you pose it with the bowcaster, like, he does have that droop of the fur on his arm, and it just doesn't look right because of the way it falls, and that's something that makes me think that those arms are reuse, but I just can't tell. But
I also picked Luke and Leia up. I think I'll definitely get this.
Yeah.
Same with the next figure. I love a good update.
Yeah, it's one of those, and it's like just to round out that crew, and it's just for that OCD in me that's going to be like, just get the definitive versions of everyone, line them up.
TVC are getting the same treatment though, so it's good to handle both groups of collectors with the same pair of hands, because
that is really
fantastic.
Okay, so
I love that.
Right, so that's just turned this from a maybe to a yes. That's a buy.
I would get it out of pure curiosity.
No, I'll be getting it purely out of, like I said, it is going to be the definitive Chewie.
Yeah.
And
well, there we go.
I mean, when you talk about definitive, like, I mean, I'm on cloud 9 with these reveals, to be honest with you.
Okay. He's laying down all the deets.
Here we go. The facts are coming in. New ball joint.
Okay, that was a biggie
yes.
with the
Look at this. You're getting all the intel.
Okay. He's spoiling us now. Come on now, Brandon. Go on. Look at that.
Love it. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's an instant buy.
Yeah, you sold me.
God
damn it.
Appreciate the attention to detail on the bowcaster, having the sling this time.
Yeah, same.
Jeez.
I love that.
Loving the ball jointed wrists. I like to see that more on the new figures. That works a lot.
Yeah.
A lot better, I think.
Love that.
Man.
Amazing. Thank you.
Insider information.
That'll do. That'll do.
I love that. That's fantastic. Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate you, mate.
Cheers, man.
This figure is going to pair up really, really nicely with the old scoundrel himself.
What a fantastic...
Oh my God. Yes. This is...
Finally...
I'm pre-ordering Dash, I'm pre-ordering this, because this is a home run.
remember the first release and how we were like, oh, that's a really good Han with his little giraffe neck.
Oh, how far we've come.
Oh, how far we've come.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is for me? It's the 70s hairdo. I absolutely love it. It's perfect. It's so good. It's so good. I love how I love how they've got it posed in the glam shots. I love how it's sculpted. The likeness is bob on. This is just superb.
Yeah.
Absolute knocked it out of the park on this guy. I can't wait to get this.
Just perfect.
I mean, I'll be the one that does it. We've got lots of nice things. I don't want to be greedy and ask for more, but if we could round this crew out with a new Ben Kenobi,
yeah, definitely.
I would be very, very happy.
Yeah, no, you're right about that, because that then, a little bit janky.
Because soft goods is the best it's ever been right now.
Mm-hmm.
The head sculpts are top tier, and the articulation's great. I might be mistaken, but looking at the torso on Han, it looks to be... Yes, please, come on. It looks to be like an articulated skeleton with a PVC shirt over it. So there's no articulation cut, which I just think, imagine that used on, Ben's robe. Softer plastics, come on.
Yeah.
This is what I keep saying about, like, I know that Ben's been done before, but this is what I keep saying about these characters making their appearance in the Black Series finally after years and years. I'm so glad that they're doing it now, and it doesn't feel like, it's one of those where, like, we've been banging drums for years, but it's like, I'm glad that they're doing like you said with Dash earlier, James. If it had come out years ago in the publishing line, would it have been as good as it is now? Like, this is one of those things where I'm just like, just take the time, like, put the work in and deliver, and that's what they're doing, and I'm here for it. I love it. I'm so happy to see it. It's just, there's just something so satisfying about getting, like, the best possible version of a character on a shelf, and that's how I felt. That's how I felt with the new TVC Luke that I picked up recently. I'm going to grab him because I didn't show him off last time in recent pickups. So here he is. I know you've all seen him, but I'm just going to gush for a little bit if you'll indulge me. I know we've got a wish list to get to, but fuck it. Whoa! Look
it's
at him.
Great, man.
It's so good.
So good.
Absolutely perfect. And it's just, it's beautiful. And like I said, there's just something really, really satisfying about getting definitive versions of characters into a display, and especially when it rounds out a team, like you've said, James, about like getting Ben out there. Like when it rounds out a crew. Yes. Black Series, Vintage Collection, absolutely delivered. Celebration Day 1 was a mighty success as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah.
I'm knackered.
Oh.
I don't know about you. Can you even be asked to do a wish list?
Well, you know what I was going to suggest, lads? Do you know what I was going to suggest? Just to give the viewers a little minute to go grab the refreshments. Is there a way we can have a little 5-minute break, come back, reset?
I don't know, because I don't think I can pause it.
Well, all we have to do, mute cameras, switch them off, come back. I'll pop a little message in the private chat. We'll say when we're ready. 5 minutes, come on.
Do you know what I could do with the brew?
I could do with a wee, so this is a very good idea.
James, you are thinking the same thing as me.
Hey.
Shall we?
Because this one's so girthy.
In fact,
and I finished my cup and mug before we even started.
I need another brew. What are we saying, chat? Are we on board? Are we on board for a 5-minute break? Are you still going to
just
be
quick tea break?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go for a tea break. In fact, bear bear with me 1 sec, because I'm going to grab something from the slide deck. Bear
Oh,
with
look at
me.
this.
Oh yeah, that's even better.
Bear with me 2 minutes, because I've fucking lost it.
I'm holding it.
Right, hang on. Hang on. Into Photoshop we go. This is it. We're doing it on the fly.
We're doing it on the fly.
Bear with me 1 sec.
Get ready to put the kettle on, everyone. Little
This is
tea
it.
break. Get your cigarette over here.
Bosh.
Popcorn ready.
Bosh. Right, lads. Yeah. So we're going to take a 5-minute break. There we go. That's the time. Put on the kettle. Tea break. Fag in a cuppa. That's it. Go for it, David. We will be back in 5 minutes' time with our Black Series sequel wish list and a very fresh cup of tea. So go and put your feet up, guys, for a bit. Come back. We'll literally be 5 minutes. We'll come back at we're at what time are we on now? 7:42 British time. So we'll be back around 10 to ish. So
Yeah.
go and do what you need to do, lads, and we'll be back in just a little bit. Where's the fucking slide gone? Fucking hell. There we are. Right.
There it is.
There it is.
I'll remember what my picks are as well. It gives me a chance to look at that.
Yeah, that's it. There you go. There we go. Right. At the stage.
Bosh.
Where are we? Bomb. There we go.
That'll do.
And we're back. Thank you. Oh. Oh no, we're not back. Oh, we've disappeared. Oh, bloody hell. It's all gone. It's all gone.
Whoa.
What's happening? There we go. Oh, lads, thank you. That might be the best suggestion we've ever had on one of these streams, honestly. My goodness. I think we should do that again more often.
Yeah.
Right, nearly 2 hours in.
Buckle up, buckaroos.
Ready to go another 2 hours, lads. Jesus Christ.
Let's get to it.
Let's do it. Right, Black Series sequel wishlist. So we've got all the juicy reveals from Celebration done and covered. Let's dive in. So, like I said, yeah, the main reason for being here tonight, up until Celebration went and did a thing, was to talk about our wish list for the sequel trilogy, because we've covered in the reveals during the first portion of the show tonight. Like, we're manifesting, guys. What we're wishing for is coming to fruition. So, with a bit of luck, Hasbro will be listening again. So let's dive in. We'll start these things as always, like we normally do, with some honourable mentions. Because what we've done, if you've tuned into any of these previous wishlist streams that we've done in the past, rather than picking multiple characters from each movie, we've just tried to streamline it, which really worked, didn't it, lads?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely kept it short and concise. We've streamlined it to one pick per movie. So each of us will be picking one character from The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker. But it wouldn't be a Black Series wish list without a few honourable mentions. So we'll throw to those first, if you'll just bear with me while I find the slides, because again we're all over the bloody place. So yeah, we've just picked a few, and instead of picking honourable mentions from each movie, again we've just picked one from the entire sequel trilogy. So we'll take it in turns. We'll talk about each one, but here we go. So we're into it. We're into the weeds. So, James, I believe the first honourable mention is yours, mate. Talk us through it. Who have you picked and why?
Yeah, Allegiant General Pride. Just basically because back in, when was The Rise of Skywalker, 2019? I had an interaction with Richard E. Grant on social media where we both agreed that Hasbro should make an action figure of him. And that it was a cool character.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You know, back when I was a naive social media user and thought I could reach out to celebrities because it would be cool. But I think he's great. I think Richard E. Grant's a top actor.
He's
I've never seen him do anything bad, and he's such a spirit of life, and I just love an action figure of him. Very much sequel trilogy talking, if you will. I like General Hux as much as the next man, but he definitely brings the more serious and sinister role to the First Order Navy, and this guy, he deserves a spot on the shelf. Can't beat a good Imperial officer. Plenty of new parts for bodies like that going around at the minute. I think he's, quite an iconic character, regardless of what you think of the movie.
This is it, isn't it?
Performance was flawless throughout, and he got a really cool death as well.
Yeah, that was such a cool scene, to be fair, in the movie. I mean, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The Rise of Skywalker really let me down, because I remember, for those who may not have tuned into any of these before, like I remember just prior to the release of the movie, the script leaking and the plot leaking, and reading it like a mug and thinking to myself, this sounds like really bad fan fiction. I hope this isn't what we actually get. I hope what we get is something better.
Yeah.
And then when it came time to go into the movie, sitting and watching it unfold on screen, scene by scene, from what I read in that leak, I was like, oh no, they've done it. That's what they've done. And, say what you will about The Last Jedi, say what you will about The Force Awakens. For me, The Rise of Skywalker was the weakest of the three. I've no hate for the sequel trilogy. It wasn't as good as it could have been. I think we can all agree on that. But it wasn't it is what it is, you know, and you've just got to look at it as what it was, and it wasn't great. It didn't end on the best note, but it's there, and you know you've got to accept it. But it could have just been so much more.
It had a lot of great things, a lot of great potential.
It did, and I think
quite.
that's one of the things that what James was saying is like one of the things that you can take away from it as a movie is the fact that. Yeah, it might not have been great. Yeah, there might have been things about it that you might have not liked or disagreed with, or, you know, creative direction that wasn't that, you know, I wasn't in full support of. But one thing that not just The Rise of Skywalker, but the entire sequel trilogy did was introduce really cool and new character designs. And I think, like, touching on what we were talking about in the last wish list we did, the original trilogy wish list, where we talked about Rebel pilots and droids, like there's an untapped area of Star Wars when it comes to characters like that. And I think like Imperial officers, yeah, but First Order officers absolutely have, like, we've not seen half as many as we probably could or should have. And there's a lot of First Order characters, to be fair, that certainly could have been made. And I mean, case in point, that brings us to Dan's honourable mention.
I've cheated.
Yeah, you have.
It's not one.
I allow it because
it's many.
Yeah, it's a fair argument, mate.
I mean, if I could, I would have had this as my main pick for all the films because really, well, mainly Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker. But the main thing that I took away from the Force Awakens trailer when it came out was this whole mystique about this group called the Knights of Ren, and this whole idea of them. Who are they? What do they have to do with the First Order and Kylo Ren? There was such a mystery around them. Were they Jedi? Are they ex-Jedi? What were they? And we never really got, well, until later on, we never really got proper answers. So, for me, these figures, well, these characters, if they were immortalised in figures, could be some of the best Hasbro do, because they're all so different. They're all kind of similar in the same, you know, visually, they're all dark, cloaked, mysterious boys. I just it's heart-wrenching. It's heart-wrenching that we only got one of these in Black Series and one of these in Vintage Collection. Yeah. We haven't had a complete set. If something is calling out to be made in both scales, either in a multi-figure pack or individually released over a period of time, Knights of Ren are the thing that needs to be made from the prequels. Sequels. Getting it twisted because I'm getting too excitable. But they are the best thing for me from them. And I know this sounds like I should be pitching this as my main choice, but because there's that many of them and there's that many other characters, it's a testament as to how untapped the sequel trilogy is.
Yes.
That's my TED Talk. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's fair. Like you said, I mean, yeah, it's a cheap pick because it's not one character, but it's valid purely for that reason. Like you said, that it's a crew, and it harkens back to we talked about Crosshair during the celebration reveals. Mm-hmm. It harkens back to completing those crews and getting those teams put together, and the fact that we have two, like it wouldn't even be so bad if we had the same character in both scales. But the fact that we've got one of them in Vintage Collection and one of them in Black Series, like there's such a disjoint there that
painful.
It is. It's like, look at what you could have had. But we didn't really want to give you. So,
it was like playing both scales off against each other. Almost. Yeah. That's what it felt. A little.
But it'd be such a. I think, and again, in a way, like I have no doubt that, I mean, each of the Knights of Ren figures, both from the Vintage Collection and the Black Series that they did, were absolutely superb. They were
They
both
slapped.
They were both great figures. So I can't really use the argument of, well, I'm glad that they've waited this long to do them because now they're going to be the best that they can be. Because I think Black Series was just starting to come into its own sort of around 2019, and the engineering and the build behind each figure was starting to get really, really good. And so, like you said, that Black Series Knight of Ren that we do have is really, really good. The articulation is fantastic. The weathering, the deco is really nice. So I don't think I can use the argument of, well, I'm glad they've waited to do them because now they're doing their best work. They're going to be the best that they can possibly be. But what I like about the fact that we don't have them all yet is the fact that Hasbro are, or at least seem to be, really embracing those multi-figure packs more. Yeah. And so the idea that we're possibly going to get the Knights of Ren somewhere down the line, especially with them now making a reappearance in comics again, like they're doing the Rise of Skywalker run of Marvel Comics, they're doing the Rise of Ben Solo. Is it the Rise of Ben Solo, the Rise of Kylo Ren as a series? One of those, I can't remember. Or the Legacy of Vader that they're doing, which is touching on Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren and all that sort of stuff. And I think
Ren himself as well, a literal comic on him. Yeah.
I think I've just seen something come out of Celebration today that a new Knight of Ren has been introduced.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, which is topical. Which is topical. I don't know too much about that yet because I haven't really looked into it, but it's there. So there's there's a calling for more to be learned about these characters, and I think again as that history becomes more and more known, the desire for action figures becomes more prevalent as well. So I'd be, if they did these as either one of those white box sets, or either as a special action figure set, or one of those sets with individually carded figures in them, I'd be down for it because it's one that we've waited for so long. This is 10 years in the making, essentially, because we wanted the Knights of Ren in action figure form as a unit since The Force Awakens. Yeah. So it'd be really, really cool to finally get those out. So yeah, I'm 100% all in on that. To be fair, I love how there's a theme throughout all our honourable mentions as well, that they all come from the dark side. It's almost as though they've got the most interesting character designs.
We're just secretly villainous. Yes, your pre-orders are up if you want to get your favourite boy.
I'm not taking another break. You can piss off. I'm not going.
No. If you care to multitask.
That's it. You do what you need to do, mate. But we're not throwing that up again. I'm just gonna. I'm gonna have a little nosy. I'm not instigating for another intervention. No, that's fine. That's fine. We can do it while we chat away. There he is.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Dash Rendar. Oh, September 2025. Bloody hell. Got to be done there.
That's my birthday month. Something's wrong here. They've got us mixed up, Steve. What's happening?
I know.
Well, knowing Hasbro, it'll be out in a couple of months' time.
Yeah. That's it. You never know. Here we go. You never know. We're going through it. I'm doing... I'm just doing Dash for now because it's the one that I want the most. Pre-order placed. Gosh, sorry guys.
They understand. Everybody's doing the same.
That's it.
You know what? I'm getting in on this. Come on now.
Here we go. Then we can all share what we've got. Bosh. There we go. Order done. Dash Rendar's in the bag. Got him.
Got him.
Yeah. So while the lads are sorting out their pre-orders, we'll throw it to my honourable mention. I've obviously gone for Dead Palps. Now I'm going to make a case for this figure just because we get so many different versions of Palpatine in this movie that I think there's a case to be made for two, and in that sense, the way I would pitch this one is I'd do a 2-pack. I would do, or at least if you're going to do one version of Palpatine and only one, I would do it as a deluxe, because I'd want this version of Palpatine that's on screen dead, falling apart, decrepit, decaying, decomposing, pure Star Wars horror, but I'd want him with the big fucking crane, I'd want him hanging off the edge of it like a floppy flannel. Like, I'd love to see this as a Black Series figure, because I think it'd be so much in the same vein as the recent Night Trooper that they've revealed, the Death Trooper with the zombie aspect to it. I think it'd be amazing to see. It'd be really, really cool. It'd be something completely unique and completely different. Like I said, there's a case to be made for a deluxe, but the way I would ideally do it is I'd do it as a 2-pack where you've got Palpatine as he first appears in the movie, dead, decrepit, falling apart, and then his, final form where he's got the more regal robes. He's, at full power, and that's how I'd put this out there. And Harry's mentioned in the comments, didn't you do a custom of this? I did, and like a tit, I forgot to get it to hand.
Yeah, you did.
Because I did, yeah. I bought myself some red velvet off of eBay, and I did a little bit. I got crafty, and I did myself a little custom of Palpatine as he appears at the end of Rise of Skywalker. And all it was really simple to do, because what I did, I just took the robe off the original Palpatine release. It was after I got the one with the throne, and I had 2 Palpatines from Return of the Jedi, and I was like, how can I put the other one to good use? So what I did was I just took the robe off, I threw a piece of red velvet over, like as a tabard sort of thing. I put that over him, reapplied his robe, and then I took the belt from the first version of Kylo Ren from The Force Awakens. I removed that from the figure and applied that to Palpatine and put it around his waist, and it works well. It's not accurate, it's not 100% perfect, but it works for the purpose of filling out that sequel trilogy display. And like you said, Dan, the sequels are so underserved. We need more characters from them, and there's a plethora of characters that we can get out there. Weird aliens, weird droids, resistance fighters, first order troops. It's an untapped well of incredible character designs. So if there's one thing that can be said for the sequels, it's that the character designs were fantastic. So,
and just touching base on that as well, I would just add, would be the fact that, again, the Emperor returning was one of the biggest.
Yeah, they made such a big thing about it, didn't they? When the trailer dropped, it was like, oh my god, the Emperor's back, and
he's returned. Somehow the Emperor returned.
Somehow. So somehow, I'd love it if he returned to the Black Series as well.
There we go.
So there we go. Right. Let's throw it to our mainline picks. And Dan, mate, do you want to start?
Yeah, go on then.
Because I feel like this is definitely one of the stronger and more overdue choices from The Force Awakens. So
yeah, I feel like just as a pre-warning, a lot of my choices are very, very plausible, should we say? Like it's what Hasbro should do. I think Hasbro should do now, because come on, doesn't it make sense for us? We should get Unkar Plutt, because we're getting Nick Frost as SM-33.
Yes.
We need Simon Pegg to accompany him as Unkar Plutt. Obviously, this is going to be a deluxe figure. I think in terms of accessories, you could maybe wab in a droid with him, or just some scrap crap. Quarter portions, 1 quarter portion.
Yeah, I was just about to say put the portion packets in with him as well.
Yeah.
Just a whole pile of them.
Yeah,
you know.
Put those in as accessories. The 3 3/4 inch one came with a blaster, so put a blaster in there, 100%.
His little walkie-talkie. Follow the girl and get that droid.
Yeah, walkie-talkie. Throw a BB-8 in there. Chuck the BB-8 in there as well.
Yeah.
I think in terms of aesthetically, he's an ugly boy. He's a big old blobfish. That's what he was based on.
Yeah.
But I loved, ever since I saw that Unkar Plutt figure from the 3 3/4 inch line, I loved that. I thought it was such a cool... It was like one of the figures I actively hunted out because it was so weird. And I think if you did it in 6 inch, the armour that he wears, the kind of weird costume... and the detail on the arms and the head, I think this could be a really grotesque and wonderful. And just as Django Fett 220's just said, give him a removable arm. Like when Chewbacca in the deleted scene just rips and yanks it off. That would be badass.
I watched that. For some reason, that deleted scene popped up in my newsfeed the other day. So I just rewatched it just for shits and giggles. And I decided to be an idiot and read the comments. And I read a comment that said, maybe if they'd kept this scene in, the movie would have been better.
Oh, dear.
And it's like, it doesn't add anything more to the story. So it wouldn't have made the movie better. It'd have just been an extra thing that happened in it. So get off the... I don't like the soapbox sequel haters who are just hating for the sake of hating. Like, I know, that there are justifiable reasons to dislike portions of the films.
If they put that in, the same person would have just bloody commented, "Oh, they only put that in because they referenced the rip arm out, shocking back into original trilogy."
There's fan service.
Old man yells at Cloud.
Exactly, but get him out there, man. Like, I'm in favour of Unkar Plot.
Yeah,
and it's one of those as well, like you said, like in terms of that untapped sort of area of Star Wars, like aliens and. Especially sequel aliens, because I mean, looking just like having a glance over at my sequel trilogy shelf, there's little to no aliens on it. At least on my particular display. I mean, there are a couple of sequel figures that I've not gotten around to getting yet, but the only ones that I can see at the minute are Maz. I've got Snoke on there, who's I guess an alien in some
Sacro Plank, maybe.
He's not a Black Series figure, mate.
Oh, no. Oh, sorry.
You're forgetting the goat.
Yeah.
You're forgetting the goat, man.
What?
Constable Zuvio.
Come on now, Stevie boy.
God. Yeah, Jesus,
Constable Zuvio.
And I don't care what anyone says, right? When I got that figure back in 2015, that is one of the best fucking Black Series figures they put out that year in the assortment. It's so good.
It is, but this and to that point, that's the sort of standard that I would expect of Unkar Plot. Because Constable Zuvio is really nicely weathered and he's got that depth to him.
There's texture.
And I'd want to see that on Unkar Plot, definitely, because like you can see it there on screen, like the weathering on the armour, like all the detail and the textures in his arms and the wrinkles and the different colour gradients and stuff. Like, he's just a dirty, scruffy looking lad, isn't he?
We've got characters that accompany him perfectly. That's the thing.
Exactly. Like, to that point, though, like, Sacro Plank as well.
Yeah. Get Sacro Plank in.
Yeah. Definitely. Nah, I'm in favour of it. I think, like I said, in terms of characters from The Force Awakens, this is probably one of the must-do ones, because he plays a pivotal role in the film as well. If it wasn't for Unkar Plot, we wouldn't be introduced to Rey. So, you know, he's and you know the whole the scene at the in the movie. That's mine.
Get that droid and the girl.
I love him. I'm here for the blobfish. I'm here for the blobfish.
I'll give you half.
This droid is worth 1/4
portion.
Yeah, I'd take him. Absolutely. I think it'd be a pretty, like, that's the thing that always threw me off with the 3 3/4 inch one, though, is that he's pretty short, and I always imagined like him being quite a tall character.
He's probably had a little box behind that booth. Let's be honest. Man
probably.
Syndrome.
Absolutely. But yeah, in that sense, though, with him being a slightly shorter character, would the deluxe aspect be justified? Do you think?
I don't. Yeah,
maybe. Because you could
maybe
just bang him in a basic box and give him a blaster, and Bob's your uncle, and that's it. It wouldn't really need much else.
I think maybe basic figure it, but I think maybe I were over anticipating him. Yeah, he's just a big chonky boy, isn't he?
He is.
He hasn't been missing no meals. He's had all the quarter portions.
He's the Dash Rendar of the sequel trilogy. He's the Chad. on that same sort of train of thought, and we've got some comments as well in the chat that I would like a vintage Crimson Corsair. I'd love a vintage Crimson Corsair as well, but I actually have one in my 3 3/4 inch collection from the 5 POA line. What I'd really like, though, is a Black Series Crimson Corsair, and that's my pick. That's my pick for the Black Series, because this is, I mean, other than Uncarplot, who is, like I said, a really, really strong candidate for a Black Series figure, and one that is more than overdue. This is one of my if not my favourite character design from The Force Awakens. I love the mask. I love the costume. And going back to what you were saying, James, earlier about updating a Ben Kenobi and the soft goods that Hasbro are doing at the minute being the best that they're doing, this is another example of where that would come into play, because you look at the texture on that cape, and I think this figure with a soft goods cape, those different textures like the gloss helmet, a matte finish on the outfit, I think this would look really, really good in Black Series. I think that they're doing an absolutely phenomenal job with it. And I mean, going back to, playing devil's advocate and paying more for my figures than I want to, put it in a 2-pack, upscale that 5 POA set with Quigold, give me him as well, Told Pegleg himself. I'd take the lot, but this is I think this and Grumgar from The Force Awakens are my two, I'd love to see them as figures, but the win had to go to the Crimson Corsair, because it's just such a cool design. He's a cool character as well, if you actually read into his backstory. I was just about to say, because I think this is one that definitely ties into you, James. I think, just for reasons, I feel like
it's almost like I was waiting for a segue.
Tell us why. Pray tell. What makes this figure so relevant?
This is where I've got to remember correctly. Oh, I might let myself down. It's Clone Trooper Kix, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the
one. There's a story where he gets stuck in cryostasis, and then these guys find him many, many years later, and he becomes part of their crew. So during the sequel trilogy, he's, as far as we know, he's the last surviving clone trooper. Why more has not been done with this fucking story, I'll never know, especially when this red chap and Quigold appear in Star Wars Resistance. But that is a very good episode of Star Wars Resistance. Very, very underrated by the majority. You got some super bat droids in that episode, if memory serves. Very good. So, I'd buy a figure of this guy. He's just cool anyway, like you say. But I mean, the fact that he ties into the Clone Wars in a very, in a very subtle way, I suppose.
Yeah, it's subtle, but it's just also the most left field, what kind of story in Star Wars, isn't it? Because it's just like pulling two characters from very, very different parts of Star Wars and putting them together in a story. It's like, what? Why? Who saw that coming? I love it. It's so cool. It's so cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it. I really would. I think there's a case to be made for a lot of the characters that you see in Maz's castle.
Sorry to interrupt you, Steve. I've just had a great thought. If ever they decide that they want to continue Skeleton Crew, I mean, prime opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Get him in there.
Yeah, definitely.
He's just singing all sorts of pirate vibes.
Yeah, I'll be honest. It's a character that I'm surprised we haven't seen sort of integrated into Galaxy's Edge yet, because he seemed like he'd fit that sort of, that sort of part of Star Wars lore really, really nicely.
It's really how they established him as a character, because they did them a series of books called Journey to Force Awakens, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
And this was one that was the story that James mentioned was one that they included within that. So it's kind of wild that they've not really built on some of those characters within later Star Wars media that we've had. I've genuinely been expecting him to show up in an episode of Mandalorian, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
Just anything, literally anything, he could show up, and he wouldn't be out of place. It'll be so cool as well. I mean, other than mention Resistance, which was, again, I can agree, test to that, great episode. Oh, I want to see more of him, and I want a figure of him especially. It was a real toss up between this and Unkar Plutt for me, but yeah.
Yeah, I think the only reason I didn't choose this is because you'd already called it, Steve, I'll be honest.
Yeah, a bit of that as well.
Yeah, it's really cool, man.
Yeah, there we go. I mean,
I love that he's just got a helmet, but then he's wearing clothes. It's mighty bold.
Yeah, he's paying no care or attention to the rest of his body, is he? But yeah, it's just such an interesting character design. It was. I mean, to mention what Milky Way Skywalker brought up in the chat, 5 POA. Say what you will about that line, say what you will about the sequel trilogy, but the Force Awakens figures, despite being limited in articulation, quality-wise, were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And this one was definitely one of the better ones for sure.
My favourite.
So to see that upscaled and re-articulated and brought to life in the 6-inch line would just be absolutely peak. I'd love to see it, to be fair. It'd be awesome. Really, really good. That brings us to our final pick from The Force Awakens, and that is yours, James. If I've misplaced it because I've put too many slides into the deck. So let me just select it. Here we go. Loading. Here he comes. Bosh, talk us through J.J. Abrams' best mate.
Yeah, man. Wexley, played by Greg Grunberg. Growing up, I was a big fan of a series called Heroes that was in the early 2000s. Something
yes.
my dad watched, and I just happened to sort of, attach myself onto it. Something I watched with my dad, and I mean, what a fucking show! And he's great in that, and that's the first thing I saw him in. So it's kind of the main association for me. Seeing this character in The Force Awakens, I'm like, no way, it's such a body from the show.
Matt Parkman. He's the mind reader. You need the mind reader.
That's the one. Yeah.
They made a figure of him
That's
as well,
his name.
actually. That's wild.
They did, yeah. It's really cool, man. I just like him. This is another one of them typical picks for me where it's just cool. I want a figure. I can't justify it any more than just saying I really like the character. I like the actor that plays him. I think he's in the film. He's in the films enough to. I mean, besides The Last Jedi, but there is, there's a story for where he was during that. He's in them enough to warrant a Black Series figure, especially when we got which one was it? Was it? It was Aloasti, wasn't it? I was thinking.
Yeah.
I always get mixed up between Kai Threnali and Aloasti. Yeah, I mean, he's part of some of the big starfighter scenes. He's almost like one of the main pilots that speaks to Leia when she's on screen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a big deleted scene from The Force Awakens that was repurposed for The Rise of Skywalker that features this guy, and I was absolutely gutted when they killed him off. It's probably the only time somebody, enunciated at the screen in the cinema for The Rise of Skywalker. Say what you will about it, it was me mad. Oh no! I was so annoyed.
It's like you said, he's one of the more pivotal pilots to play a role in the sequels. He's essentially, I mean, David's mentioned that it's the new Jack Porkins, but I'd argue, to a degree. I know what you're saying, but to be fair, he is to Poe Dameron's Luke what Wedge was.
Absolutely.
In the original trilogy. So, like you said, there's more than a case to be made for him. And
this is a character. Sorry, mate. Carry on.
No, you're all right. I was just going to say, because obviously in the original trilogy wish list we did, you made your pick for A New Hope was Dutch Vander. And it speaks to that again as well.
Yeah.
Get enough pilots, at least unique sculpts for pilots.
Yeah.
So this would be another one that would be
See,
You know.
this is a character as well that's actually. I don't know how many people realise. Again, it's a video game thing. He's popped up quite recently. He's in Star Wars Outlaws as a much younger character that you encounter. I can't remember the specifics because I've only played through the game once. But there's a swamp-like aquatic planet. But you don't unless you've read the novels, you don't automatically throw the association together because he's called Temin Wexley. And then when you see that last name, you think it's got to be. So I gave it a quick Google, and surely enough, it is the same character. So you learn the origins of it and where he's up to during, the time of the original trilogy. I like that game. I think there's a lot of good stuff in there. Don't know if you guys ever saw any of the press that came out about it, slating it to begin with. It's just because it was riddled with bugs and stuff.
Yeah,
but the story's incredibly fun. And when they weave characters in like this, again, it's enriching to the universe as a whole.
Yeah,
I think he's just as important as, like I say, Dutch Vander for the original trilogy.
Again, he's had stuff written within that Journey to the Force Awakens series, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And I think what would be great, I'd love to see this personally, but if they did it, he would more than justify doing the exclusive or a multi-figure pack. Because I don't know if you know about his droid.
Yeah.
Mr. Bones.
Oh, somebody mentioned that in the chat, and I was like,
Mr. Bones. Include him, do a multi-figure pack, and have him include that. That would be awesome. Again, harking back to that weird Star Wars again that we all love. That's what I'd personally like to see. Yeah. But again, he's a character that just should be in the line. He should have been released when, Force Awakens was coming out.
Yeah, because again, he's one that got a 5 POA figure.
Yeah.
It was part of one of those 2-packs, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't he come with? It was Snapway. Who was it packed with?
Wasn't it a snow trooper?
Yeah, it was one of the snow troopers with the coloured pauldrons, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was black. Was it a black pauldron snow trooper that he came with?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it still
the banana visor one.
Yeah, that's it. Bloody hell. But yeah, now there's a case to be made for him there, definitely. Sea Line Studios has joined us. Greetings, Exalted Ones. How late am I and which film are we on? We've just wrapped up on The Force Awakens, mate. But you're probably...
Some would say you're right on time.
Yeah, absolutely, because we're 2.5 hours in and we're only just finishing up on the first of the sequel movies for reasons. So, yeah, there we go. Solid picks throughout, guys. Like you said, there's cases to be made for every single one of those characters. I'd be down for them all. Format is irrelevant. I'd buy them. I'd definitely be down. Dan, we will move on, and we're now in The Last Jedi
again.
And I mean, like, there's no other. Like,
I'm surprised you guys didn't jump on this one, to be honest.
Come on now! I very nearly did, but I have reasons for not, so...
That's fair enough, but this is a figure that we was all expecting for so long that we were going to get, just purely because of Gregory Titus's artwork.
Yeah.
Anyone who remembers the artist who did the original Black Series packaging artwork, key art for the characters, he posted a picture of this particular Luke, and we were all sat there, bated breath, every Comic-Con toy fair, thinking is he coming? Is he coming? Is he coming? Hasbro.
I don't think he's coming.
Hasbro, I just don't think he's coming. And you know what? It's a crying shame.
It's a tragedy.
It's a tragedy. Because Vintage Collection, it pains me. It pains me to say this. Vintage Collection got it first.
Yeah.
And we haven't even had a sniff at him. And I think, didn't even the Vintage Collection one come out sometime after the film?
Yeah, not long after, was it?
Which was just, it blew my mind.
it's surprisingly. I mean, I bought the vintage collection one when it came out. Here he is.
Wab him up on screen.
So there's your vintage collection version. I mean, to me, it's not the best figure.
No.
I have issues with it. I don't think it looks quite. It's just something about it. I can't.
It's a little bit off, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the head sculpt slightly off. The robes just don't feel like they did in the film. I don't know. There's just something about it that's just, like you said, off a little bit.
Looked better on card than out, maybe.
Yes, and I had this carded for the longest time, and then I was like, actually, I really need to flesh out my my sequel shelf. Because it's lacking, and I opened it up, not realizing that he would ultimately become one of the pricier of the more recent vintage collection figures. Yes, that's it, C-Line. It's too thin. That's one of my my main issues with it. But yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like. It doesn't feel to me like the figure that we saw, the character that we saw on screen. It's just there's just something off about it. So again, it falls into that category for me of, if it's coming, I'm glad that it's coming now because it'll be definitive. It'll be really good. But it is one of those. It's literally the figure from this film that we need, and I can't believe we don't have.
It's iconic. You know, the whole scene for me when I was watching it at the cinema left me with my jaw on the ground because of how good it is.
Yeah.
You know, think what you will about Last Jedi, but that scene was everything that Luke Skywalker represents.
Yeah.
And it was so badass. And I'd love to see if they did it in Black Series, include accessory-wise, go the whole hog, lightsaber, Han Solo's dice.
Yes.
Just even if it's a little thing for him to hold, that would be great.
Yeah.
And a cloak as well that you can kind of have. You know, you remember the 30th anniversary Darth Vader that came with the Obi-Wan cloak that was on the ground?
It was
as a little display piece. Yeah.
Yes.
Do that, kind of include that with the rock and it being sat on, so you could have him posed sat on the rock. And, you know, doing his full... I mean, well, then again, that would probably be... Again, I'm thinking maybe two-pack territory because he's dressed differently when he's sat on said rock. But just, they could really do something incredibly special with this to commemorate...
An amazing scene.
And for me, an amazing film because Last Jedi is one of my favourites.
Yeah.
It holds a very special place in my heart. You know, it's up there with Empire Strikes Back for me.
Agreed, mate.
I love this scene. I love the portrayal of Luke in this.
Yeah, I do too.
And why haven't we got a figure of him in Black Series?
Yeah, it's criminal. Again, though, I would argue to do this one, soft goods robe.
Yep.
And it'd just look the best it could possibly look. And I think this would probably be one of those figures where... do you know what I'd really like them to do? I'd like them to take a slightly different approach with the head sculpt. And I'd like them to give him that windswept look. You know,
SH Figure Arts did that, didn't they?
Yeah, so rather than just posing his hair in the static... sort of like just the way it would flow, like have it like texturized and have it like getting brushed back.
Do you know what?
To be able to pose him on shelf with the lightsaber like he is on the screen there, it'd just be so fucking good.
I had another thought as well that would really fucking elevate this figure.
Go on.
Would be if they had a part of the chest where you could actually slot in Kylo Ren's lightsaber.
Yeah.
As if it's like... there'd definitely be a way. You'd maybe need like a little plug thing to... Like an overlay, kind of like they did with the Return of the Jedi Luke. Have it as an overlay so you could just clip that on. And where the hole is, maybe where it plugs in, have it slot through the figure I think that'll be awesome. Or a 2-part thing where you have one part that sticks in, the other part that does. So you could have Kylo in that, jabbing him in the chest, and then realising,
it's a spooky ghost.
It's a spooky.
I've seen other toy lines do things like that where they've just like it's just you know, like the old fucking practical joke gag, like arrow through the head.
Yeah,
just like, I've seen them do that using translucent plastic. So you could do that, and you could then you'd get like the little bluish like weary effect when it's making contact with the you know, the projection of him in a way.
Oh, that'd be so good.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
I actually got bored of waiting for this, so I bought the Figure Arts one like sometime last year, and that's good, but a Black Series one, it'd definitely be better because, like, I don't know, there's just things wrong with it. It's good to have on the shelf. It makes the shelf feel a damn sight more complete. So if anything, that, you know, it's a tick in the box as to why we need this one.
Yeah, 100%. It's like you said, it's one of those. It is that figure of that character from that movie that it's like, where is it, and why is it not already a thing? It's criminal. It really is, and to that point, it's quite fitting actually that this is your pick for Last Jedi, Dan, because this was James's Sidon Ithano for me, because I was like, oh, Dan beat me to it. This is what I was going to pick. And then I was like scratching my brain, and for the longest time I was just like, oh, do you know what? I just do it for Last Jedi. I'm just going to pitch a Canto by Alien, or an updated Kylo Ren, or something like that, because I can't really think for as many characters as I can for as good as the movie is. I think because it's so concentrated on what the core characters are doing, you kind of forget about all the glup shitters and the background characters and stuff like that. So it was a bit more difficult for me to conjure up a pick for Last Jedi. And then I was looking through the sequel 3 3/4 inch figures that I've got, and I was like, hang on a minute. Not only do we not have a crate Luke, but up to now, we don't have a Hermit Luke in the Black Series either.
Absolutely.
So that's my pick for Last Jedi, is Hermit Luke, and I want this to come with a bottle. I want this to come with a fishing rod spike thing.
Yeah.
I want it to come with the backpack. I want it to come with the sacred Jedi texts. I just want this, and I'd love it if they did it with soft goods, because I feel like that I'll call it a rain Mac. That coat, that jacket that he's wearing, the hood, like there's just so many different elements of soft goods that you could combine to create a really cool look for this one. I'm thinking like the faux leather that they've used on previous figures, like, because it's got that rough texture to the jacket itself, but then you've got the woven hood, sculpt the vest underneath. Like I said, throw the rucksack in there.
Yeah,
the books. This is
I
up
want
there.
An alternate head with the bloody milk dribbling down his chin. If we're going all in, we're going all in.
Yes.
I love that gets people. I love that just gets on people's tits. I really do. If you'll pardon the pun,
No, it's for me. This is up there with Crate Luke. It's how is it not? Whether or not there is an unconscious bias on Hasbro's part that they don't do as many sequel trilogy figures as they probably should be, because of the fear of lack of sales. If that's, I don't know whether that's true or not, or whether that's just conjecture. But I feel like, you can never, like, despite what you think about the sequel trilogy, despite what you think about The Last Jedi, you can never deny a Luke Skywalker figure. And I think even the most ardent haters of this movie would still go, yeah, that's old man Luke. It's Luke Skywalker. I want it. And like I said, and I think purely from an action figure standpoint and an action figure engineering standpoint, I think this could be an absolutely phenomenal release. I'd take a plastic overlay for the jacket, whatever. I don't mind for the poncho, whatever it is that he's wearing. Just I think they'd just do it. They'd do it justice now.
Yeah.
So even though it's one of those characters like Crate Luke, where it's like, okay, how has it taken this long to get this figure out there in Black Series? I feel like now is the perfect time to do it because of the incredible work that they're doing. So I'm glad that it's taken this long in a way, because if and when it does happen, it's going to be phenomenal. And again, like with Crate Luke, I'd want this done in a way that add a little bit of a more dynamic touch to it. Give him wet hair, like sculpt it in a way that's scene specific. Give us that fishing scene, the spike, the rucksack, the books, everything. Just
some
blade of grass.
I would argue purely from an aesthetic standpoint that I want this more than Crate Luke, just because it's slightly more interesting to me as a look. So I want this really, really badly, and I didn't realise how badly I wanted it until I looked at the 3 3/4 inch one and was like, yeah, I forgot we didn't have a Black Series version of that. That's mad.
For me, looking at it, I always like to think of figures sometimes from a packaging standpoint. I know I'm probably drilling on some like exclusive stuff, but just looking at that tree design, just seeing that in a packaging with it, just, kind of like how, they did the Thrawn Office exclusive, and just have that with like the tree design, the books there, the figure kind of in a bubble in front of it, with all the accessories. That just looks so cool.
Yeah, there's a case to be made there for like a really nice presentation style box. Yeah. Like with opening panels and all that sort of stuff. It'd look really good. It really would, yeah. Collect Cover's just joined us, actually. He's popping in and out of the stream. But if it hasn't been said yet, or if it has been, Crate Luke, please. Yeah, it was Dan's pick, Tom. So, yeah, we would like it.
I did the same with this as the Crate one. Again, I'm impatient. I'm a child. So, but I got the Figure Arts one for about 35 quid. Again, it's sequel trilogy stuff. Unfortunately, not many people want it on the aftermarket these days. So they're out there if you want them, and that's really good. And it's funny. My brain's just done this thing when you've just said you'd prefer this to the Crate one. I've gone, oh hell no. And then I've just thought about it and completely done a 180, because this is quintessential iconography for The Last Jedi. Before people were so divided about it, this is the look in the trailer that you get that shot. It's time for the Jedi to end. That was the talking point. Was it a celebration where it got shown? I can't remember. Or SDCC. I've seen, trailer reactions of the people in the room. People, it wasn't uproar. It was like gasps, unanimous across the hall. And it's important. Without getting too much into it, like The Last Jedi is, we're all in the same boat. We think it's a fucking great movie.
Masterpiece.
And I get to the point where I get pissed off when people go out of the way to just slate it. Still to this day. Just because you didn't like it. But at the same time, I don't necessarily agree. I understand people that say this isn't their Luke Skywalker. And I don't think I really thought about that myself until we got him appearing in The Mandalorian. But that doesn't take away from this being a really cool Luke Skywalker. And if you implement the campfire scenario... that this great and bountiful warrior of old disappeared and exiled himself. It's got such weight to it, and I haven't got my sequel trilogy stuff on display because of space. But looking at the wealth of stuff we've got on other shelves, especially from recent years, and comparing it to what I would have out and what we have got from the sequel trilogy line, missing a weight such as this, it feels very empty.
Yeah.
I think for you as well, James, because we've spoken about it before, it's the whole character progression where you've kind of got your display with your character progression and having... It's kind of like your progression of Luke has just... And like many others, it stopped. Because we haven't got the
He takes his hood down and that's it.
Yeah. It's you haven't got the broken Luke Skywalker, the hero that you wanted to meet but wasn't the person that you got. And then the crate version, which I've mentioned, that we then redeem himself, but the Luke that we know and love.
Yeah.
It's tragic that both these Lukes that we've mentioned are well worthy of having a release. They could have easily been included in the Black Series line, and it's just tragic that we haven't had them. It's wild. It's wild.
Yeah. Like I say, when it's such a core character as well. I mean, you can throw this one into this category of like Leia as well. Yeah. In that argument, like the fact that we haven't had a Leia from Last Jedi in Black Series is mad.
Arguably the best outfit she wears in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and arguably, again, one of the best of the sequel trilogy 5POA figures that they put out. Like those Force Link figures, start of TFA, not so great, but then as Force Awakens progressed, and then, like I said, you started to get characters and figures like Sarko Plank, like Sidon Athana, and all that sort of stuff. The 5POA stuff really picked up, especially from a sculpt standpoint, and that Leia is phenomenal. And in the same breath, like the Hermit Luke in the 5POA line is a really good figure as well. So long overdue and definitely needed, like you said, just to pad out that sequel shelf and to like flesh out those displays, because I think that's the biggest thing for the sequels, is that they just feel so unfinished from a display standpoint. Like there's so much more that should be on those shelves that aren't, and they've played crucial moments in those films. Say what you will about them. And the fact that we started off so strong with Force Awakens, and then it and the figure, not from a movie standpoint, but from a figure standpoint, and things just got. It's almost like they just were like, oh yeah, we can't really be bothered. The effort that Hasbro put in with the figures seemed to feel the same as the effort that was put in with the Rise of Skywalker for me. It just dipped off, and I'm gonna say it because and we've said it there. Like Last Jedi was so good, and the finale of this saga and this trilogy could have been incredible if it had been followed to the same sort of standards as Last Jedi. But it just went safe and lazy, and it just feels it's
the marketing for Rise of Skywalker just went non-existent, didn't it? Though, let's be honest, which is just.
It's the entire thing, for action figure wise, movie wise, marketing wise, everything. There's a case to be made for the fact that the sequel trilogy was entirely a missed opportunity from every aspect, and that's not from me hating on it. That's purely from they just didn't feel as like it was the end of this. Like they marketed this thing as the end of the Skywalker saga, and it just felt like such a damp squib. It should have been so much more, but there we go. Hey ho, Hermit Luke, Crate Luke, we need. James,
how do I live up to this?
Yeah, I was going to say.
You could have started me off first. You've done me dirty. Nobody's going to want mine.
Well, I don't know. I think fans of Bottom might.
It's why I chose it. It's literally another one of these stories. Like
he's tooling with you.
I just like him. I like young ones. I like Bottom.
Yeah.
old-fashioned comedy. It's stuff that my dad used to have on and that I've watched, and like still to this day, don't matter how many times you watch something like that. Some of the funny stuff in that's funny for the all the time. Anyway, I like that they sort of reference it in the film, because you don't hear his name, but if you do the relevant research, he's named Ederson Peavy because he's played by Aid Edmondson. And character in bottom is called Eddie. Yes. Again, getting confused between the two shows now. I like the opening scene of The Last Jedi.
Great fun.
It's
Great fun.
It's those daft little lines that stick with me from the sequel trilogy. Just that confidence. We've caught them in the middle of their evacuation. I just think again, it's widening the variety of the shelf a little bit, because we got some really stupid First Order officer in a 2-pack with Admiral Akbar.
Oh, the Quentin Tarantino lookalike.
So why can't we get this guy instead? I mean, I was basically thinking, I haven't looked into the costume differences, but they could, do this and then do General Pride as well. So, that's interesting. I actually didn't know that. I'm just reading that comment. I mean, I assume, it's the sequel trilogy is very much a fest of friends, isn't it? It's you're doing Star Wars, can I be in it?
Yeah.
But no, I think it's great. Like I said, I just like the character. He's not in it very much, but I think that this is a better representation of how to implement a little comedy into your officers in comparison to what they decided to do with General Hux and just turn him into a walking clown for most of the movie.
Angry ginger boy.
To that point, though, like that's one of the things that I really like about the First Order in the sequels is that they try to feel more sinister than the Empire, because it's like it's taking everything. They are like, for lack of a better term, they're the neo-Nazis of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
And to that point, they should feel more dangerous, more frightening, but there's something confidently clumsy about them. That they've got all these bright ideas and all these aspirations about how to make the Empire great again, and it's almost like life imitates art, isn't it? Because like they've got all these great ideas and they're so confident about how to implement them, but the rest of the fucking world knows that it's a complete bag of shit. But they're so like, and it's just that whole like they should be so intimidating and they should be so frightening and so intimidating, but they're just not, because they're just so they're just idiots. But it should feel more sinister, but it's not, and it's I'm with you on it, mate, because like I'd have preferred to have seen this character as part of that 2-pack with Akbar than an unnamed. Like, I'm all in favour of unnamed troopers and unnamed officers and troop builders and that sort of thing, but I just think for a cameo like this, it would have been a really nice treat for action figure collectors to get a figure of him.
See, the way that I look at it is, when you think about the original trilogy, you've got all those different officers, and as fans, they haven't appeared in that much outside of the movies, a few being an exception, but we know them by name, and we know them all by appearance, because they were designed in such a way that, despite being all the, in an army, in a military, they all have particularly different looks and aspects about them. And I feel with the First Order, if you were to ask, just an avid fan, they'd probably just go, yeah, that ginger one. No offense. Like, I'm just saying it's, or they'd say, oh, General Hux, but they don't they don't look at this guy, Captain Kennedy, the guy that was on the Dreadnought, played by Mark Jones.
Yeah.
I only think that's his name because he was at Wales Comic Con one time and he said hello to me.
Is it Mark Lewis Jones? I think, is it?
Maybe, yeah.
I know.
Sadly, nobody was at his table, and I just locked eyes with him, and he said hello.
He was also in, like, to go off on a tangent, but just to further credit his work, he played an absolutely fantastic role in The Crown. If anybody's seen that, like, I'm not a massive advocate for the royal family and what have you, but I watched The Crown because it is a riveting series, and he plays a role in that. He's a dialect instructor to Prince Charles in that, and his character is so good, and he's such a fantastic actor. He's been in a number of different programs here in the UK, and he's just fantastic. So just little mini just mention.
No, yeah, I haven't watched The Crown, but I agree with you, mate. He's an upstanding British actor. He's got a certain notoriety about him, but as characters, as First Order officers, I believe that they've done nothing to not deserve the same sort of treatment that these other ones have amongst, the lore and the ethos. So to have figures of them on the shelf, they might not be main characters, they might not be quintessential to a display, but it just makes the world on your shelf feel a little more lived in, sets up the scene.
That's the thing, and that's what I was saying about, like, displays from the sequel trilogy feeling unfinished, because you look at your original trilogy shelves and you think, well, you've got all these Imperial officers, you've got all these stormtroopers, you've got all these aliens, and then you look at your sequel trilogy and you've got your core characters and you've got the odd alien and the odd pilot and the odd trooper, but there's nothing to really flesh out those ranks. I mean, they did a decent service to the First Order towards the start, where you got, like, the TIE pilots and the flame troopers and the snow troopers. They really did, flesh out the trooper ranks for sure. But yeah, like, officers and stuff, we definitely need more.
I would also attest to, I'm probably going a bit off topic here, but the fact that there's, how do I word it? It's having actors that you know from other stuff being this other thing that you love the most.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars. I really like getting actors as characters as their character in Star Wars, if I'm making any sense there.
That's how I felt about Benicio del Toro as DJ.
Yes. Yeah. That's how I feel about whenever they do a casting announcement for like upcoming films that we've got. Because
Jude Law in Skeleton Crew. Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's knowing that if I ever go to a Comic-Con and there happens to be an actor there, I could maybe pick up a figure and I can take it to them and you can strike a conversation up with them about that character, that physical embodiment of them. I don't know where I'm going with this, but
I know what you're saying.
To me, I find it wild that Hasbro doesn't capitalise on that, and indeed many other companies don't capitalise on the fact that you've got a wealth of this talent that you could just get the likenesses of and make figures of them.
But do you think that comes down to a licensing thing and
that's I mean, I suppose we're going into a whole different topic there, aren't we?
We're getting into the legalities of things.
But it's fascinating.
Trade routes have been blockaded.
But it's genuinely fascinating. I'd love to see more First Order officers like this. Yeah. Like Captain Kennedy especially, because they've all got the little... They get little hint. You don't see him that long, but you get hints of their personality. Yeah. Like Captain Cadney's just this. It's like, oh fucking hell, Jesus! I don't want to be under his command, just screaming all the time.
It's that line. It's that line in The Last Jedi. Where it's like, we should have done it 5 bloody minutes ago. It's awesome. I love that opening scene. I'm right there with you, James. That opening scene. Yeah. Like Jedi. Say what you will about it. I love it. It's great. The film is fucking great.
It's wonderful.
Conclusion. Yeah, definitely. So moving on, let's get this bleeding shit show out of the way, shall we? Rise of fucking Skywalker. Oh God!
Here we go.
I'm kidding, because this actually is one of my favourite picks. So Dan.
Oh, it had to be done. It had to be done. Because, come on, I was sat there thinking, you know, when we had the announcements of all the new Star Wars figures, the fact that we were getting Billy D. Williams back for Rise of Skywalker, it left me gobsmacked that we didn't get a figure of him.
Mm.
Look how swaggy he looks as well. He's got the drip from back when he was, you know...
That's the thing, isn't it?
It's harks back to Solo.
Yeah.
Which, you know, we hadn't even had... we'd had, like, trailers, I'm assuming, for Solo, hadn't we? Or a bit of a look. Did we have a bit
Solo
of a look?
had been out. Solo was out, wasn't
It
by
had,
this
hadn't
point?
it? Sorry, yeah, I'm getting my timelines all waggled and mixed up. But, yeah, like, the fact that it harked back to Solo, you know, you've got this older-looking Lando, and he's got the cane, and he's got the blaster kind of in that crazy holster. I love the look of this design of him. Like, to have that next to the Donald Glover Lando, and new,
Again,
would be such
talking about James's character progression.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the cane that he's got? Have you ever seen the video where the Star Wars show look at the props from Rise of Skywalker?
No, I haven't.
It's styled like Cloud City, like the pommel that he holds. It's the same shape.
So cool.
And
It's
again,
really cool, man.
Them little details that they can put in the figure that, you know, I wouldn't have noticed, and I'm sure many other people wouldn't have until they get that figure. Something I would also add as well, I'm not sure how doable it would be, add an overlay to it. So, you know, kind of similarly to like the Darth Maul that we got, the first Darth Maul we got in Black Series. Have it as a pop-out head, and have it as a full overlay because he has that weird costume that he wears with the helmet and the whole garb.
Wookiee stand out of the crowd.
That's it. Have him in that.
That's literally what you took words right out of my mouth, Dan, because I was literally just about to ask you and say, well, would it specifically be this appearance of Lando that you'd want, or would it be it's not a disguise, is it? It's just the outfit that he's wearing when he approaches the crew. It's like that for me. Like, I would take, because this is very. I mean, there's an argument to be made for the choice you've made, but for me, this is very similar to his Solo look.
Yeah,
and we have that represented on the shelf. So for me, I think it'd be the helmet, the fur.
Yeah,
you know, the drip. The drip.
While we're talking about the sequel trilogy, and Rise of Skywalker specifically, I love that scene. His introduction. I mean,
it's good, isn't
it? For me, that it makes me feel warm and fuzzy. Because it's been so long since you've seen him on screen at that point, and he hasn't lost it at all. It's the Lando that you remember. And unfortunately, at that time, the original trilogy characters are to a point, they're so far removed from what you remember. That's like the warm hug of, you know, it's still
Lando
the same old
reminding
smoothie.
It's Lando reminding you of who those characters were, especially when he says... what's the line that one of the characters says to him, and he responds with, "Well, we had each other."
That's it. How did you do it? It's Poe, isn't it, that's talking to him. It's that's such an important scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's the say hi to Leia for me.
Yes,
it's like, you smooth bleeder, you. Is like, I think for me, like the biggest enjoyment I took out of Billy D's appearance in Rise of Skywalker was the fact that I'd always assumed leading up to the movie that Billy D had not been in the best of health.
Mm-hmm.
I'd heard people say about some of his con appearances that he'd been a bit subdued. He'd been, you know, he'd had the shades on. He wasn't really interacting with people, not through any fault of his own, but purely from a, you know, I'm just old and knackered and just want to get through this sort of thing. To see him come back with that swagger and with that like charisma that he's always had, it was like, oh, Billy D's back and he's all right. It was so nice to see it. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what a testament to that is as well? There are more of us.
Yeah. It's just it just delivers those lines.
He is like getting a big hug from him. I think James describes it perfectly.
Yeah.
Every moment he's in frame, it just brings the biggest smile. Like the film frustrates the living shit out of me.
Yeah,
it does.
That's it. It's a bundle of clusterfucks.
It's a bundle
but
of
at the same time, there's so many little bits in it that are golden.
Yeah. And that's where I really struggle to hate on it.
That's the thing. Like it's growing. I mean, one of the I'm spoiling my pick, but I really wanted to choose and cheat like you did, Dan, and pick the Luke and Leia training scene from Rise of Skywalker as a Black Series 2-pack. But I thought I can't make all of my picks be Luke, because that's where we'd have been at pretty much. But it's like you said, as a movie overall, as the way it's constructed, the way it flows, and the way it's not great. And I have my issues with it, but there are, like you said, there are pockets, there are pieces that are just like, that bit's good. I love that. Like I love Babu Frick and the Anzellans. I love Luke and Leia training together. I wish they dedicated more time to Ben and Rey at the end and Ben's redemption, and I wish that had been my biggest thing. And again, we're going off topic, and we'll bring it back to Lando in a minute, Dan. But for me, it's like the biggest thing for me is the fact that Ben didn't live, because I feel like that would have been such a brilliant twist on the whole redemption arc. Like my issue with it was that we went through those beats before. We had Luke trying to redeem Vader. Vader was redeemed. Vader died. We never saw the consequences of his actions. It would have been so refreshing to have seen Ben survive, Rey bring him back and be like, you know that they're all going to hate you. They're not going to accept you. Well, we'll deal with that. And going through that, like, yeah, I've survived, but I have turned good. And that whole real life drama of, well, yeah, all right, great, you've redeemed yourself, but look at the war crimes you've committed and the murders you've
like, absolutely right.
Let's have that. That's something we've never seen. And that would have been so good to have seen played out. Like, yeah, you've survived. Yes, you've redeemed yourself. But how
do you prove that? How do you prove that you're now a good person?
Yes.
You know,
how do you pay for what you've done?
Yeah,
it's such a missed opportunity for me. But yes, Lando in Black Series.
Can we just? I want to just highlight one of the comments though. I don't know if you've seen the chaotic clouds, because that just hit me in the feels.
Yeah, I have. I was going to mention it actually, because that's fair fucks, mate. Love
that's good, mate.
That's beautiful. I love it. I love that.
I just want to say as well, sorry, is when it was before we come on stream, we were talking about some of the things that were announced at Celebration, and a lot of stuff from recent years tends to get shelved or cancelled. I'm forever gutted that they don't know what the fuck they're doing with call it what you will. In my head, it's called the Calrissian Chronicles, right?
Yes.
Where the hell is my series with Solo Lando, and then a lovely narration, or a beginning and an ending with Billy D. Williams Lando?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Do it as a Christmas special as well, because he has the heart for it.
Yeah.
You know what? I'd take that.
Come on. Like the adventures that he's recording on his little risk communicator in Solo. That's what I want to see a series about.
That's it.
All
like,
kinds of crazy shit.
I'd love that, where it's like each episode, like what happens at the start and the end of each episode doesn't matter in the next. It's like each episode is just a separate story. That'd be so good. Oh, I'd love it. I'd absolutely love it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it because that was a project that was announced but got shelved, wasn't it?
Yeah, Donald Glover just kept getting far too damn busy.
Yeah,
it flip-flopped from like a film to a TV series to well, it's all over the place, wasn't it?
Maybe someday we'll see it. Maybe one day,
perhaps. Yeah,
but yeah,
I feel like you say though for Billy D, because he didn't look too great at Star Wars Celebration in 2023.
Yeah,
I haven't seen him recently.
To quote the movie, it's now or never.
Mm-hmm. But
there we go.
I'll buy a toy of him.
Yeah,
if they make
absolutely.
it.
Yeah, it falls. Lando in Rise of Skywalker just falls into the same category as Luke from Last Jedi. It's like it's one of the core characters from the movie and from the original trilogy. That it's like, how the hell was this not one of the first figures that you brought out for this movie?
He's the only one.
Lando.
He's the only one from the main cast of like main characters, like original legacy characters, that's not been brought to a figure, and it's
criminal.
Sad. It's criminal.
He could still come back in future films if they figure out what the fuck they want to do as well, because they dangled those threads with Janna at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, I haven't read any of the comics or anything. I don't think anything exists currently that takes place after the Rise of Skywalker. I could be mistaken, but I don't. I think that's why they're making such a big deal about what they're announcing now, because they don't dare tiptoe around it, because of all the fucking vocal minorities absolutely slating it all, but deserves better, and I want him on my fucking shelf.
Same.
Yes, absolutely. Me too. Well, James, I'm going to save your pick for last because I feel like it's deserving.
Yeah.
I feel like it's deserving.
This time, I agree with you, my friend. Yes,
because it's a really good way to end this wish list, and mine's a bit of a it's a gulp shitter of a pick, but it's one that I don't know. I just love it. I feel like it's one we didn't actually see enough of in the movie, but it's such a cool design. And mine is this fella, Sovereign Protector, which, like you said, it's literally a blink and you'll miss it character. It's one that you really see in the background, and it's one that people have taken frames of the movie of and zoomed in on, and it's pixelated to iFuck, and you can't really make it out, and it's like, that could be a cool Trooper design. And then I don't know whether it was a visual dictionary or something like that came out, or a visual guide that showed better images of it. I'm just like, do you know what? Yeah, that'd be a sick figure, because I love the combination of elements with this one. He's got one of the weapons that came with the Force Awakens 5POA figures, one of those weird bloody claw.
Oh, really?
Things. Well, no, I'm just saying, like, that's what it looks like.
Oh, right. I thought, forgive me, I thought they genuinely,
no, it's just
included something.
It's just such a stupid blaster. It's so far removed from Star Wars.
It's like a fucking Halo gun. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's not Star Wars at all. But yeah, the Trooper itself is like a combination of all these different designs. It's like, it's a Royal Guard, it's a Sith Trooper, it's a Shore Trooper. It's just such a weird looking figure, and I love the ambiguity of it. I love the fact that, like I said, in the movie, you literally, like, they went to the effort of designing this really elaborate costume for this character that is literally seen for a fraction of a second getting blasted by Ben as he runs into the chamber on Exegol. And like I said, seeing it a little bit closer up in these visual guides, it's like, actually, that's a really cool design, and I love this. I don't know, there's just something about it. I just think it'd make for a really, really cool figure. I'd make an argument for this one. I wouldn't do soft goods for the cape, because I feel like the cape in the image looks like plastic. So plastic cape would probably be the way to go for this one. yeah, I just think it's a really interesting design. I really, really like it. I very almost picked, because I wanted to go with a trooper, because I do feel like, again, there's an untapped market of different trooper designs in the sequels. I very nearly went with one of the Final Order gunners, or like I think
Yeah.
they appeared in Last Jedi briefly, but they've got like the very like the blank helmets, like the with the weird flaps and just elaborate. But then they've also got the flashes of red for the Final Order on them, and you see them on the decks of the Star Destroyers when the Final Order fleet emerges.
Yeah.
I very nearly went with that, but then I remembered this guy and I was like, actually, yeah, it's just different. It's something a little bit out there. It's something a little bit, again, just adds to those ranks and builds out that world within the Black Series in the sequel trilogy era that we haven't really had a lot of. And I think, like, going back to the honourable mentions, I think if Hasbro did put out a mummified Palps, then, it'd look really like a couple of those flanking an undead Palpatine. It'd just look really, really cool. It's just, I don't have a great deal to say about this one, to be honest. It's just a cool trooper that hasn't really been touched on in action figure form, and I just think it just looked nice. I'd like to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it goes with the whole military as a Star Wars thing, because we're buying little toy soldiers.
That's it.
Why can't we have this old boy? And I mean, there's plenty to be argued, like you said. There's other ranks that we need. I mean, I just think of how underutilized they did the Praetorian Guards.
Yeah.
They could have easily been packed in, and people have fucking mopped them up because people want the full set of them. And I mean, I would buy this. I'd buy 2 of this because I'd want it if they ever did an Emperor to flank it.
Yeah.
Troopers are just such a money spinner, an easy way for Hasbro to make money and just reuse sculpts, because I'm pretty sure a lot of that they could reuse from. I mean, looking at it, it's pretty similar to the Sith Trooper. Am I right? Or
it's got elements of it.
A bit different.
Yeah, I think the armor overall is a little bit smoother. It doesn't look like it's got as many of the grooves and the line work in the armor itself. Again, it's difficult to tell because you don't see it that much. You don't see it on screen. There's very, very few reference pictures of it. I mean, Harry's mentioned in the chat that he's flicked through the visual dictionary and it's not in there. So where this image actually comes from, I have no idea.
I believe it's a Topps trading card.
Really?
Yeah, maybe one of the digital ones when they used to do them. It rings a bell.
Okay.
This is what I mean. It's like, I can't imagine being the costume designer for this character and going, well, where that costume that I designed for the movie, where was it? It's like, oh yeah, you see it like right at the back there in the darkest fucking scene in the film, and he just gets blasted within a second by Ben as he's running in, and it's like, oh, okay, so I put all that craft into
I mean,
absolutely bugger all. If for nothing else, for the costume designer, let's have this figure to give them a little bit of justice.
Yeah.
If nothing else.
I mean, again, this is why I kind of collect Star Wars figures, is because it's the weird stuff like this that you barely see.
Yeah.
But you see it briefly on screen, like, that looks interesting. And then when you get the figure of it in hand and you actually handle it, look at all the details, the sculpting, it just opens up another level of thinking to you, like storytelling and world building, that you can tell the artist that created it has put in. And it's just tragic, again, that...
Yeah. Seems to be the running theme throughout the sequel trilogy, doesn't it?
Just tragedy.
But yeah, speaking of the guy that puts this trooper down, let's wrap things up with our wish list, and we'll throw it to you, James, and your final pick. And this is, do you know what? Of all the characters in all the sequel trilogy, this is the one. This is the one.
Yeah, goodest boy.
Because I'm just I'm a massive Adam Driver fan, so just every version.
Yeah, me too, mate. Me too. Like for me in the sequel trilogy, Kylo Ren is probably like my favorite character.
Yeah.
And again, that was like my first introduction to Adam Driver, and then the years afterwards, I've worked my way through the majority of his filmography just because I enjoyed his performance that much.
Yeah, likewise.
So it's like, I've lost my train of thought because I've just, as soon as I said that, I'm
staring into their eyes, aren't you?
I've just gone, no, Patterson was one of like the best films I've watched. Like, if you've watched that one, when it's Buzz Drive that writes poems. What a fucking film!
Patterson drives a bus in Patterson, and his name's Patterson. It's just a wonderful movie. His girlfriend in that film is a massive bitch.
Yeah.
Horrible. He's supposed to write his little poems about matches.
If you haven't watched it and you've got now, dude, it's Easter weekend. If you want to be stuck on the M6 for 5 hours, go on holiday. If you want to, educate yourself on a glorious film, have a look for Patterson. Anyway,
absolutely.
Ben Solo. I mean.
Yeah. That's just to Harry's point while we're talking about filmography. What if I love that film and I was literally just about
had sex and I've had nachos.
That was literally that should have
greatest moment of my life.
That's how the sequel trilogy should have ended. It should have Genray, a great big snog, and then it cuts to the sat in Dexter's diner. I just had sex and I'm eating nachos. The greatest moment of my life. I love him. I fucking love Adam Driver. Black Klansman as well is an incredible movie.
Yeah. You took the words right out of my mouth with that one.
Logan,
so good.
Logan Lucky.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cauliflower.
Yeah.
Joe Bang. Brilliant.
Quality actor.
Yeah, he is.
I would say done a disservice in this movie because whilst the original idea was not to have Ben, fall from his path and return to the light, I like that idea very much. I just don't exactly like how they executed the idea.
Yeah, I mean,
it's done with such visual distaste. I mean, he just takes off his Kylo Ren clothes and he's got a jumper on.
Yeah.
But I still want a figure of it. It's important for the character. I'm just going to tell you where I'd change about that scene a little bit because I've never had an opportunity to tell people, and I like that. He wears
the floor is yours, mate. Go for it.
Why didn't they use the outfit that they ended up using for him for the comic book? First of all, Land Speeder Luke made a fucking sick custom of that. Or they could have just, he's still got his Jedi clothes somewhere. Why aren't we thinking about this more when we're doing it? Why is it so rushed? Why is the last line he fucking says, ow? He's got a cool lightsaber, such a unique design. I always thought there'd be such a stunning visual element where he'd join Rey and ignite his lightsaber. I mean, they clearly fucking thought about doing it with the Acolyte in reverse. And it stabilizes instead of being all crackly and turns blue, and the crossguard section of his lightsaber falls off, withers away as he activates it. As a result of this, something a little more fucking interesting. You gave him Luke's lightsaber, and you make such a big deal about the connection with Ben and Leia being his mother, and I love that. It's so cool. But he doesn't use her lightsaber. Anyway, I need a figure of it, right? They need to make a figure of him. He's just cool. He throws some sick saber moves, and I don't know what that blaster is that he's got. I don't know if it's picked up from a trooper. It's almost got white on it. That's what made me question it. Yeah,
Isn't it just a First Order Stormtrooper rifle?
No, I think it's a bit different because it's shorter barrel and there's almost a side scope similar to the DR-44. So
Yeah,
I don't know if maybe
I
it's
thought
what
it was
he
hands.
maybe it's what he built with Han when he was a kid.
Yeah,
We don't know. They didn't think to tell us these things, but I like it. I mean,
This
the
is
whole
why,
lightsaber swapping thing.
yeah. I just feel like if, and again, I mean, we've been pretty alright with comments so far, and everybody's been pretty supportive. So I feel like I'm not going to upset anyone saying this, and even if I was, I wouldn't care. But this is why I feel like if Ryan Johnson or a director of that caliber had tackled the final film, the
Yeah,
metaphors would have been stronger, the messaging would have been better, like the dialogue would have been more impactful. The whole story of Ben's, be it redemption or if some of the other scripts were to be believed, the way he stuck to the dark side would have equally been as refreshing, because that was touched on in Last Jedi. The whole ending of Ben's story, not the sequel trilogy, but Ben's story was it was done a disservice, because his character arguably is one of the most interesting characters in the entirety of Star Wars, and there's such a just I don't know. I don't want to be that person that says retcon it, but I feel like I'm one of those Game of Thrones people that's like redo it. It needs to be redone.
no, I know what you're saying, mate. 'Cause I'm always left after watching it with the thoughts of what's he thinking during this? Because I think you're left on such a profound scene with him reconciling with Han Solo.
Yeah.
And I like that. A lot of people moaned about that after it come out. It's he's a ghost. How is he doing that? It's a memory. It's clearly him remembering his dad.
Yeah.
And thinking more advice he'd give him to a certain extent. You could think about it however you like. They're a fucking dyad in the Force. These are the things we don't know. I like to think, right, if they do a Rey film, are we going to see a ghost Ben? Or because they put such importance on him and Rey being this dyad, can we... I like to... you guys know me, and I like Dave Filoni's writing. Let's put him in a situation similar to Anakin in the World Between Worlds, almost like the father. What is left? They fucking killed him, man, for no goddamn reason. Just like you said, just when things were getting interesting. Because he plays a great villain, don't get me wrong, but it's nothing we haven't seen before. It's a lot more interesting because of where he brings to it and certain little factors about his behaviour and his little tantrums, little things. But like you say, I recently watched the Superman and Lois TV series, and in that Superman has a brother. It's probably based on some comic book. I don't fucking know. Just watch the show. It's cool. And it's that caveat of someone that's caused so much harm and evil. How do you then redeem them? He's going locked up for a while, and he comes back into it and helps him out with a situation, with some sort of world-threatening cataclysm. And it's how it happens and how he helps him. That's where I want. That's what we should have got for this afterwards.
Yeah, it's similar sort of situation to sort of, I don't know how far along you are with it, but Negan in The Walking Dead as well.
Watched it all, mate. I know exactly what you're on about. Brilliant.
Yeah. So like this just diabolical villain that is made to pay, like, who in his own mind is like, look, I'm a changed man, but needs to suffer the repercussions of what he's actually done. And it's bringing that real world aspect of it, like the accountability and the look. It's not as black. Like you literally, I don't like with Rise of Skywalker how it's Kylo bad, Rey good, Kylo and Rey fight. Kylo and Rey keep fighting. Kylo has epiphany. Rey is being beaten down. Kylo saves her. Kylo Rey
Luke,
kiss.
girl, kissy.
Kylo Rey kiss. Kylo die, and all is good.
Yeah.
It's so black and white, and it's like there's such a deep and there's just such a story to be told with it, and it's so frustrating. But from a figure standpoint,
Yeah, bring us back to the figure. It's I like it. It's cool. It's dishevelled.
I want open palm on one of his hands so he can do the.
Yeah.
I want that. That's my only criteria.
This is the opportunity to give us Leia's lightsaber, even though he didn't fucking use it. Because we haven't had it with any other figure. I mean, aesthetically, again, his outfits, but there is something great about seeing him. The scene that sticks in my mind, it's just after he shoots your trooper, to be honest, Steve, and then he stands next to Rey, and they both bring the sabers up, into fucking into to reference Rebels into ready position. I like it. There's something poetic about the two of them standing up against Palpatine in that moment. They finally recognise each other for the people that they are and not the people that everyone else wanted them to be.
Yeah.
And I want that on the shelf.
It's like in that moment, it's just them two.
That's it. They've decided what they want to do and who they want to be now. It's not what's been put on them, what's been expected of them. It's fucking. It really pisses me off that he dies. It pisses me off even more that it annoys me even more that he leaves his jumper behind. And I don't know what the fuck the kiss was all about, because I don't know about you guys. I never once thought there was any sort of sexual tension between those two characters. There's a dynamic for sure, but that never came into my head whatsoever. I feel like they were doing that to please the crowd. I don't know how involved you were in watching what social media was doing back then. Well, there was a whole group of people called Raylos who thought they were God's given gift. And they thought they were so validated when that scene happened in the movie. Fuck me, mate. I just hope that when they decide what they're doing with future movies, they sit down and think about the characters they've got and find something interesting to do with them.
Yeah.
Specifically Kylo Ren. I mean, this is the real thing now. Are you going to be able to get the majority of the sequel trilogy actors back? Because Adam Driver said numerous times he's done with that. He was happy to do it, but he feels like he's closed the book on that part of his life now and wouldn't be interested in going back.
I just feel like it's one of those, like, for Adam Driver, no, because I feel like not in a patronising or disrespectful way, but I feel like at this point he's above Star Wars.
Yeah.
At least potentially the stories that would be told with him as a character. I feel like with the right story,
if it was something special,
under the right circumstances, and if done properly, I would love for him to come back and do it again and just give this character the send off and the justice that he deserves. Because, like I said, I think we're all in agreement. Favorite character from the sequels, best character in the sequels, for my money anyway. And I just think criminally under, like, not only are the action figures underrepresented on the shelf, but the characters were so underserved from a story point of view. The whole story for them was just a whole bunch of what ifs and what could have beens, and it's so disappointing. I just feel like the only way to do this justice is just to just bring these characters to life in action figure form. So at least, like Jesse said in the past, you know, playing with the toys at least gives you a little bit more enjoyment of the media that they're from. And I feel like having more representation of these characters on our shelves might allow us to forgive certain elements of the movies, because then we can just play with our own figures and create our own headcanon, and everything will be fine, and Ben will live, and it'll all be spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bloody
That's
hell.
a bit fucking shit, and it's. Never mind.
And on that note, yeah, I think we've touched on Ben Solo's arc so many times throughout different streams, and it's just like repeating itself, as it's it's one of those things. Just throwing it to the chat really quick. Harry's mentioned, I'm surprised none of you mentioned Cadel Connix for the wish list. She was played by Carrie's daughter, criminal that she's not got a figure. Yeah, I think she's probably one that I'd rather see in vintage than Black Series. And
I almost chose her for Last Jedi, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it's sort of cheating, but I almost picked her. I almost picked Billy Lord because it's sort of picking her, but not really. Because I very, very nearly chose Luke and Leia's training scene, to the point where I create a slide for it? I think I might have done. I did. I really wanted to pick him. I really did, because I think I'm just going to say it, as a cheat. Dan cheated. I'm going to cheat. Honourable mention. I'm only going to flag it up once, just because I don't want to take away from Ben Solo. But get that as a 2-pack.
Yes.
These were rumoured for the longest time as well.
They were, weren't they? Yeah.
Like Yakface had a listing leak of a 2-pack for these. I don't know if it was a con exclusive or a store exclusive. They were supposed to happen, but I don't think. Again, they got cold feet with it.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Just seems to be the running theme with sequel stuff. They just can't seem to lock it down and commit, and it's such a shame. It really, really is. So, Brandon, if you're still there, mate, more sequel stuff, please.
Please
and thanks.
Please.
I think at nearly 4 hours, that brings us to the conclusion of our sequel trilogy Black Series wish list. For those who've tuned in from the start right up until the bitter end, I thank you. We thank you. Cheers for your stamina. It's been a marathon for sure. Myself and Dan will be back in the morning, 10 a.m. God,
tomorrow.
10 a.m. BST. We'll be back with the Forces with Jesse for our Power of the Force 2 30th anniversary celebration. The primary focus of which will be live reviews of the entire deluxe line. So we'll be looking at the crowd control Stormtrooper, Han Solo with Smuggler Backpack. What else have we got in that line? The Probe Droid, Snowtrooper and E-Web Cannon. There's some absolutely quality figures, and then we'll just be diving into some really, really fun tales and stories about the Power of the Force line, what it's meant to us as collectors over the years, and just celebrating 30 years of the line that for a lot of people started it all. We're really, really looking forward to that. So I hope you can join us for that in the morning. I'll be over on Out of the Basement's Lazy Sunday live stream the day after that, so I'm going to be absolutely fucking knackered by the time I've done.
Busy boy.
Busy boy. But no, it's been a blast. I've really enjoyed talking about the celebration stuff with you guys. I've really enjoyed these wish lists as well. Like, it's something that we've talked about doing for the longest time, and just working our way through the saga and touching on all these really cool characters from these movies that we've loved so much. I think at some stage we will divert into the TV shows. We've done Gaming Greats Wishlist live streams in the past, so please do check those out if you haven't already done so. But yeah, I think a Clone Wars redo is on the cards for sure. I think, making our way through The Mandalorian, Ahsoka. We've done Rebels as well. There's a plethora of content to get through. But there's definitely
there's a lot. We've got the Skeleton Crew now as well.
Mm.
Ooh.
I think it might just
another
be
season of Andor starting next week, boys.
We do. I feel like that's probably something that we'll probably touch on because I think there's probably going to be more reveals in the coming weeks. So we'll get together again for a reveal stream. But yeah, just to reiterate before we completely wrap up, I just want to bring it to everyone's attention once again because I know that Seth Nico jumped into the chat earlier on and he mentioned Liverpool Comic Con, which he'll be going to. So again, just to throw it back, April 25th, a week today. If you're in the UK, specifically in the Sheffield area, and you're heading over to the Revenge of the Sith screening and the Matt Ferguson poster signing, please come and say hello to myself and Dan, as we'll be giving some goodies out. We've got pins, we've got badges, we've got prints, we've got tons of cool stuff. And we'll be doing the same at Liverpool Comic Con as well the following week, where Dan's got his own prints to hand out. I'll have stickers and merch and all that sort of stuff. So please come and say hello to us. It'd be fantastic. And then, on May the 4th, not only has Dan got an absolute slew of content coming out.
Loads of content coming.
But we'll be at the Star Wars Fan Fun Day over in Blackburn as well. So again, if you're there, come and say hi. Lads, it's been a blast. Thank you, as always, for joining me. And we'll see you all on the next one. It's been a bloody marathon, this one, so I'm going to go and lay down for a bit. Until next time.
Thanks for watching. In the morning.
Yeah, thank you.
See you tomorrow. Bye.